just pounce on each other the second we get home from work in the evening. And then just go right back at it in the morning. I mean, sometimes we'll look at each other directly in the eyes when we're having an argument. Other times she turns her back on me and I just scream at her from behind.
We're not exactly shy about doing it in public anymore. Dale gets pretty worked up when there are people around who could be watching or listening.
Still can't believe you forgot.
Not now.
Oh, come on.
I said not now.
Oh,
what?
Don't even.
Don't even what? I asked.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything that you want. You can join us here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And the Skype username is LRN.FM. So big day for New Hampshire and the Libertarian Party's history, I would say.
Yes.
Ian and Darryl in the studio here tonight. You and I were both present for this historic moment, Darryl?
Yes, and I was kind of required to be present as the chairman of the state party.
Yep, I was not required to be there, but this was a big deal, so I definitely wanted to be there, and so we took the trip up early this morning to Concord, New Hampshire, where you and a few other folks were scheduled to have a press conference.
Yes.
And had a decent turnout, I would say, not as far as press were concerned. But I think there was at least one reporter there that I recognized. I could be wrong about that, but it was nice to see Libertarian supporters turning out.
Correct.
For this particular press conference.
And then there were just, because this press conference was outside of the State House, there were just passers-by that I noticed stop for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And then wander on.
That was, I think, a good choice because the last press conference y'all did where Caleb Dyer, who was a Republican who switched to Libertarian and made history as the first person to do that in New Hampshire in 20 years, basically.
Correct.
The first sitting office holder to do that. He's currently, until today, was the only sitting state representative who is a Libertarian Party member.
Correct.
So that was a big deal, but you held that one in what they call the Legislative Office Building. Now, it was wintertime, so probably was the
And there was
best
also
choice.
a snowstorm, and the weather wasn't the greatest.
So, yeah, holding that one outside would have been impossible. But given this time you had the choice between one or the other, I think it was a good move to be outside because not only could people walk by who would normally not walk into the State House, but also it was very nice. It was very beautiful out today, so it was a perfect opportunity for it. And do you want to say what the historic moment was? Because a lot of the people who showed up today, I don't think really even knew what was going to happen. They just you invited them. You said this is a really important press conference, but I can't tell you
there
exactly.
There were some rumors floating around of the what, and the what was a state representative joining the Libertarian Party, thus giving the New Hampshire General Court a Libertarian caucus for the first time in over 20 years.
Wow.
The who, and this is very important
The
here.
only Libertarian caucus that I know of anywhere in the United States.
Correct.
Right.
And only the third time ever that there has been a Libertarian caucus in a state legislature.
New Hampshire being
one of two of those three occasions.
Okay. What was the third?
Alaska.
Okay.
Had a pair of Libertarian state reps in the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
Late 80s, early 90s, I believe. So for only the second time ever in the history of the party, a sitting Democratic state rep joined the Libertarian Party.
Just to be clear, in the history of the entire national party?
In the entire history, actually the entire history of the world, there have only been two state representatives who were elected as members of the Democratic Party who joined the Libertarian Party.
And they were both in New Hampshire.
Both in New Hampshire. One in 2000, the now late Steve Valancourt.
Yep, he just passed away.
Couple months ago. He joined the Libertarian Party in 2000 and was then elected as a Libertarian.
Right.
So
which is the big thing that people that there's a bunch of people who will down and attack people in the liberty movement who will
Right.
attack other people in the liberty movement for joining the Libertarian Party, especially these state reps who are making the flip. They'll say, "You'll never win a re-election. That's impossible," or whatever, and it's
right.
totally
and then
possible.
back in the 90s, there were numerous state reps elected as libertarians. Well, that's different because, and then they come up with all of these reasons why it's different. And this also, by having someone who was a member of the Democratic Party join the Libertarian Party, it also proves that libertarians come from all sides of the political spectrum.
Yeah, that's what I really thought was the most important point about today, is that beyond all the historic factors, and those are cool.
And let me just make one more point about this Libertarian caucus. It's the youngest political caucus in the country, if not the entire world. The average age of members of the Libertarian House Caucus, 21.
And they both just turned 21.
They both just turned 21 a couple of days ago.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of symbolic in the way that you described, where you've got a Republican who's, Caleb, who flipped like 3 months ago, and now you've got a Democrat, Joe Stalkop, or
Yes.
Joseph is what he prefers to be called, Joseph Stalkop, who is from Keene. He's a Keene state state representative, and he's a college student here in town, originally from Connecticut. But to have that kind of, I think that breaks the mythology, this pervasive nonsense that libertarians are just Republicans who smoke pot, or that they're more conservative than anything else, and it's not true.
And after the press conference today, we all went out for lunch. All the people that were part of the press conference.
We went to a Liberty-owned bar.
Went to a Liberty-owned bar, and we had drinks, lunch. And we're chatting, and you had taken off because you had some business that you had to attend
I had some errands to run.
And Representative Stalkup was saying that he's a poli-sci major.
Mm-hmm,
and he has been taught in college that libertarians are on the right and that, the socialists are all the way on the left.
Wow.
That,
That's
Rand
so stupid.
Paul, the libertarian, is all the way on the far right. And, well, no.
Rand Paul's not a libertarian.
Well, yeah, we had the discussion about that. Plus, there's this prevailing myth that libertarians are Republicans that like weed.
Yeah. Well,
And-
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a Republican who likes weed, but that doesn't make you a libertarian.
That doesn't make you a libertarian. Being fiscally conservative and socially liberal doesn't make you a libertarian.
What does make you a libertarian?
What makes you a libertarian is abiding by the underlining principle of libertarianism, which is the non-aggression principle, that you do not believe in the initiation of force for political or social goals. And then you spread that out, across whatever the issue is, and then you figure out what's the answer to fill in the blank issue. Well, it's not to initiate force for political or social goals.
Right.
I think everybody should eat chicken. Okay, then you educate people about why they should eat chicken. You don't pass a law, prohibiting the eating of beef and pork.
It's not a complicated belief system. It's very simple, very easy to understand. But a lot of people in politics are scared to death of doing what Joseph and Caleb, the Democrat and Republican sitting state reps, have done so far. And maybe it's because they're so young and, they don't know any better. They don't know what's good for them.
Fine. We need more young people that don't know any better.
Yeah, and I'm joking, of course. I think it's heroic what they've done. But I was speaking from the perspective of their elders in the state house, who there's a way you do things, boys, and you got to follow what the party says. You got to do what we tell you to do. And he was saying he was just getting told to go vote on things in his speech today. He was saying he was getting told to vote on things that he didn't even know what they were.
Vote your conscience, as long as your conscience is what we have written on this piece of paper.
Yeah.
And if you disagree with what we have written on this piece of paper, then, well, son, your conscience is wrong. They won't say, this is the party position. If they say vote your conscience, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, here's the right way to vote.
Yeah, so needless to say, the old party establishments are none too happy about these defections to the Libertarian Party. And there have apparently been a couple other folks who, from the Democrats, have just simply changed from Democrat to, like, undeclared
Republican.
or independent. They went to Republican.
Two of them went Republican.
I had heard that some were going
I've heard there might be
party.
one or two that go independent.
There's more coming up here. 8:55, 450, free. We can tell you a little bit more about today's history-making press conference. This is Free Talk Live. You can comment.
If you're a sleep apnea sufferer who's on the go to your phone. Because if you give us a call right now, you'll be able to try the world's first portable mini CPAP device absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. It's the Transcend Mini CPAP, an engineering marvel that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. Its unique design is so small and so light, you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. No more dragging around a big, bulky CPAP. Even better, now you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights by calling minicpap.com, 1-800-768-3138. Transcend is FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. You can also add a battery pack that's as tiny as a deck of cards. So now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't wait. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-768-3138. That's 1-800-768-3138.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by, making minimum payments? You should know the credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a large portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-314-7417. 800-314-7417. That's 800-314-7417.
If you're looking for work, it's a process of elimination, and you're trying not to be eliminated. So here's a tip for making the cut, and this might seem subtle, but to the person interviewing you, it's not. There is a world of difference between applicants who convey, "I need a job," and those who simply ooze, "I want to work," especially in these lean times when many you're competing with will seem desperate in "I'll take anything" mode. If you convey specific interest in this job at this company, you will be conspicuous. Thus, the value of going to school on the company you're applying to before the interview. With money and attention so tight now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips for job seekers and everyone else, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial on in toll free. Bring up whatever you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. Tonight in the studio with you, you've got Ian.
And Darryl.
We're talking about the historic day today in New Hampshire. Historic for not only the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire, but the National Libertarian Party, the Libertarian movement. We now have 2 sitting state representatives who have flipped from their original party, one a Republican, one a Democrat. No more. They have flipped to the Libertarian Party. And this isn't the first time this has happened in the history of the United States, but it's the first time that something like this has happened in close to 20 years, basically.
Correct. It's the first time that there's been a Libertarian caucus in a legislature in over 20 years.
Yeah. And it's amazing. And I'm so happy to see it finally happening here. And ultimately, I think you and Roger Paxton and the rest of the board over there at the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire have a lot to, take credit for, whether you will or not. But ultimately, this party was kind of in shambles before you guys arrived, and you guys are principled, liberty-loving folks who took over and really breathed some new life into this party. I mean, I had no interest in the Libertarian Party before this, and then as soon as you took it over, I'm like, okay, there's a good chance things are going to change here, and they did. And you guys have done an incredible job, and kudos to whatever end that you had involved in this. I know it was a group effort to bring Representative Joseph Stalkop on board from the Democratic Party today. And it is also worth pointing out again that he's from Keene, which I think is just one of the most fun parts about
I think you get some credit on this as well by lending him a copy of Healing Our World.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Democrat, right? Or was a Democrat originally, somebody who thought that maybe he fit best in with the Democrats, even though he didn't really, because he thinks for himself, and, they don't want that. They don't want him thinking for himself. And I thought, well, Mary Ruart's Healing Our World is, to me, the best book about liberty that you can hand to somebody who's coming from the left. And it's because that there's a real understanding of compassion on her part in that book, and that's really what the whole book is about. It's about how libertarianism, the understanding and respecting of the non-aggression principle that you described earlier, the idea that you shouldn't use aggressive force to achieve your political or social goals, is not only good for not paying taxes, which like a conservative would understand and like, but it's also good for all kinds of things that for those that want to help others. So feeding the poor and the hungry, taking care of sick people, helping endangered species, helping the environment. All of these things are done better when they're not done by the state, when they're done by voluntary, consensual initiatives in the marketplace.
Right, and then, also
she proves it.
You have to look at the issues, and one of the things that she definitely touches on is how regulation adversely affects the poor.
Sure does. Keeps them away from opportunities which could help bring them out of poverty.
Right. And one thing, and I first learned about these hair braiding regulations from reading Healing Our World.
Yep.
And luckily now you're seeing a move to, and I know it sounds like, a minor issue of, we eliminated the regulations on hair braiding. But when you look at the wide range of people that are basically being told you're not allowed to do what you know how to do because you didn't go to cosmology school or cosmetology school, then, it's really absurd, especially when you look and see that the cosmetology schools don't teach hair braiding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they're finally changing that at some state governments.
Right.
New Hampshire is working on a bill for that this year.
Correct.
Anyway, big day. Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts. The video, I just literally walked in the door moments before we went on the air, so I haven't had any chance to ingest the video from today, but I did get full video. You spoke.
There was also a live stream, so there is video available.
Yeah.
It's, camera, cell phone, live stream, so it's not the greatest, but there is something available right now online. I'll try to find the link posted on the Facebook and the Twitter for Free Talk Live.
We'll get the real video up some later point, and then you'll actually be able to see people's facial expressions and things like that. But yeah, that'll be up later over at the Free Keen YouTube channel. Let's go to your calls and your thoughts. We'll start with Liberty Lobster. He is in Ohio. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Liberty Lobster.
Hey guys, how are you tonight?
Just absolutely fantastic. I mean,
so you're now Liberty Lobster, not Liberty Lover, or is this a different person?
You can thank James Whittakin. He called me Liberty
We're
Lobster.
Not going to. And no, I don't think that's what he called you. But either way, go ahead with your call tonight.
I was talking to some family earlier, and we were watching a show called Cops. I'm sure you've heard of it. And then in the beginning, they always say all suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Yep.
And I've never understood why they said that. Because if you're innocent until proven guilty, why are they holding you in the first place?
Well, see, because you've been accused of something, and we hold the accused.
Well,
asterisk in certain circumstances. In other circumstances, you're still accused, but we decide that we don't need to hold you.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually walked into the office of our congressman, Bill Johnson. He's right here in my city. I actually caught him before he left his office, and I spoke to him about this. And I actually had an idea for some legislation that when you are brought in, bonds should not cost you a dime. You should be released until they can get you a court date.
What if you're an accused murderer?
I mean, what does that have? I mean,
what if you were caught in the act of police officer walks up to you, jamming a knife into someone's skull?
If they actually saw you do that and they had a body cam to prove it, that would be an exception to the rule because they know you just murdered somebody.
So what you're saying is, let me see if I've got this clear. What you're saying is if a police, detective who's gathering evidence, and we know that sometimes they get it wrong, but if an investigator is gathering evidence and they believe that they have evidence that somebody committed an actual violent crime, whether it's murder or rape or arson or whatever it is we're talking about, that they've got enough evidence that they can arrest you for it. You're saying that person shouldn't even that there shouldn't even be such a thing as a bond, and they should just be able to just skate until the court date?
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
I think bond is just a way for them to make money.
No, it's a way for them to make money if the person skates on the court date. Do you understand how it works?
Yes, you are set a bond when you go to court, and somebody else pays it for you, or you pay it yourself, and if you don't show up to court, it has to be paid in full.
Well, generally it's paid in full in order to get you out in the first place. So
I thought bond was like 10% of whatever.
That's what you pay a bondsman, as I understand it, to post it for you.
Okay.
So
let me give an example here.
Yeah.
Let's just say that for whatever reason I wind up getting arrested, and they say bond for Darryl is $5,000. Then someone would need to take $5,000 down there.
That's correct.
For Darryl to be released.
The bonds, if you don't have $5,000,
that's why my standing order
bondsman.
is don't bail me out.
You can go to a bail bondsman and you can pay him 10%, and then he'll go and put up the full $5,000. And then if you skate out on the court date, then the bail bondsman sends a bounty hunter after you
and breaks your knees.
More coming up here in moments. Stand by, Liberty Lobster. We can continue the discussion. It's Free Talk Live.
Lifetime Grazed 100% grass-fed beef has the health benefits you seek. When compared to conventional beef, it offers good fats while virtually eliminating the bad. That's the result of cattle who never eat grain, ever. Rich in antioxidants, including vitamin E, C, beta-carotene, and CLA. No artificial hormones, antibiotics, or other drugs. For all our fresh, non-cooked products with only 100% grass-fed beef, go to MidasResources.com. Use voucher code GCN to get 30% off your order. MidasResources.com, or find us on Facebook.
Do you know what's lurking in your water? More than 200 contaminants could be sitting there, just waiting for your glass. With a ProPure water filter, start enjoying clean and great-tasting water today. ProPure filters, independently tested, latest water filter technology. ProPure systems do not require electricity and are easy to set up and easy to use. To find out more, visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Free Talk Live.
Ms. Maxwell's local council has decided that the pool, which is only 2 feet deep, needs a lifeguard. It's a kiddie pool. As if the lifeguard wasn't enough, she's also been told she must have insurance. The health and safety edict came after she wrote to the city council asking for permission to put a bigger pool in the communal garden outside her home. That was her mistake, asking for permission rather than forgiveness. But nonetheless, not only was she told it was too dangerous, but the council told her to empty the existing pool. The Portsmouth manager defended the ruling yesterday. Nigel Selly said, "We didn't have sufficient assurances that the risks associated with providing such a facility would be well managed. It's a facility. How dare you? How dare you erect this structure on your property?
It's an inflatable pool.
Without our permission."
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
For Bitcoin to be ubiquitous, people need to use it. For people to use it, they must have it. How can we get Bitcoin into more hands? Tipping. What if you could include a bonus Bitcoin tip along with your regular tip to a server? What if that Bitcoin tip returned to you if unclaimed after 30 days? An attractive business card Bitcoin tip that's easily claimed, gives instructions on wallets and spending, and returns to the tipper if unused. Tip.freetalklive.com. Tip.freetalklive.com.
You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is... You ain't going to make it. Wait a minute. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Bring up what you want. The number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, you've got Ian.
Darryl.
So we're going to go right back to your calls here, but I do want to let you know that healthcare is pretty messed up in the United States. Of course, I didn't have to tell you that. You probably were already well aware of it because the government has screwed up the healthcare system, and they're not going to really be able to fix it. I mean, they may make a tweak here or there that might slightly improve a few things for a couple people, but ultimately it's going to be near impossible for the government to actually solve these problems because they're not willing to do what it actually takes, which, of course, would be to get out of the healthcare business entirely.
Right, because, they're intertwined like a Gordian knot, and you can't just undo the Gordian knot. You have to cut it in twain.
Exactly. But they're not going to do that. Nobody's going to propose that. Ron Paul's long gone, and nobody would have listened to him anyway. So in the meantime, you got to figure out your own healthcare situation, and you don't have to have insurance. Yeah, insurance can be great in that it helps treat sickness, but it doesn't give you anything for being healthy. And some would say that incentivizes illness instead of health. There is a free market healthcare company called HealthExcellenceSelect.com. You don't have to use insurance. You can go to HealthExcellenceSelect.com. They'll give you a proactive health assessment daily if you'd like, and no charge 24-hour access to doctors. And HIPAA has messed up the medical records so much that one doctor doesn't even know what the others are doing. You can go to HealthExcellenceSelect.com. And by the way, they do support traditional integrative chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. So go to HealthExcellenceSelect.com. You'll love the service and the prices. We go back to Okay, he's changed his name again here on on Skype. He was Liberty Lobster. Now he is Lobstertarian, and you're back on Free Talk Live. Now, you've told us that you support the ending of bail, and I get where you're coming from, right? I mean, bail is an oppressive thing, especially when it's being used against somebody who's accused of a nonviolent crime, right?
Correct.
So if somebody gets pulled over, like our friend Ademo Freeman from copblock.org, gets pulled over with 26 pounds of marijuana in his car, there's going to be some bail set likely on that, especially given that he has a criminal record. And even though his record is that he goes to court and fights things and doesn't run, that still, the kind of the way the system works is if somebody's got a record, they're more likely to have more stringent bail conditions.
Right.
So
if you've got outstanding warrants, more likely to wind up having stricter bail conditions. If one of those warrants is failure to appear, chances are they're going to hold you until your court date.
So, I get you. I understand why bail is perceived as a bad thing, because a lot of times it's used as an abusive tactic. It's used in a way to harm an innocent person or a person who has never harmed another person. They're held in a cage until their court date, which makes it very hard for that person to prepare for court. So if you're in a cage, you don't have access to resources. You might have access to a shoddy law library at best in most cases.
Might.
And in some cases, probably not at all. So it just depends on the jail that you're in and what state and all that. So I totally get it. I totally get the desire for bail reform. But the intention behind bail, like a lot of things in the political realm, I don't think the intention was necessarily bad. The intention was, we've got ourselves a violent criminal here. This is a, potential murderer or rapist or whoever it is that we're talking about. If it's an actual crime that this person's been accused with, you're going to have a tough time convincing anyone, Lobstertarian. You're going to have a tough time convincing them that, just go right ahead and let that accused rapist and murderer right back out there on the streets. Sure, he'll show right up for that trial that you've got scheduled in 2 months. I mean, come on, really?
Well, I can address that. First of all, you can just call me Stefan. It really doesn't matter what the Skype name is. I change it all the time.
Gotcha.
But second, a lot of the time, people that do commit murders are allowed to have bail. It's just some ridiculously obscene amount, and they are on conditions that they can't go near anybody that they may have assaulted in the past. And those are some of the stipulations that are set.
Right, and one of the reasons that bail is set for some of these people of $5 million is because the law says that you can't hold someone without bail. So they have to set some kind of number. They just choose a number that they know the person or they believe the person will be unable to come up with.
Correct.
Well, I believe that recently there was a person in San Francisco that managed to pay a $35 million bail. Recently.
Okay, and did they skip bail?
Did they go to court?
No, did they skip out on court?
Yeah, they did.
They literally posted $35 million, and then they didn't go to court.
No, I don't know when the court date is. I had just heard that this woman, let me see here.
Okay.
Her name was Tiffany Lee, did post the $35 million bail after she planned to kill her ex-boyfriend. I don't actually think she's gone to court yet.
I gotcha. So again, the idea behind these large bail numbers is if they can post them, then the suggestion is that there are it's unlikely that the average person is going to be able to fling $5 million into the court system or $35 million or whatever it was. So that's going to keep most people behind bars. But for somebody who's not, or for somebody who's able to fund that kind of level of bail, then they're going to have a whole lot of pressure on them to make sure they go to court. And that's kind of the idea there is that, you've had your parents mortgage their house. There's, some bail bondsman who you hired at, if it was, $5 million bail, then he paid $500,000. Or no, he paid the full $5 million, and you paid him $500,000. That's non-refundable, by the way. So, a lot of people then have a stake in your whereabouts if you're the accused person to make sure that you're going to, show up in court so they can get their money back.
And in this case, I've actually pulled up a story on it where Tiffany Lee wound up, some of her family from China has connections to wealthy business people. They raised $4 million cash, pledged $62 million in San Francisco Bay Area property to cover her bail. The district attorney wanted bail set at $100 million, saying, quote, if convicted, she faces the rest of her life in prison. That's plenty enough incentive to flee back to China. So their concerns here was this woman with a wealthy family, she might just wind up going back to China instead of facing trial here. So let's set it really, really high. And the judge set it at a number where he didn't think they would be able to come up with the money, but they did.
And I'm guessing she's got a GPS tracker on or something like that in addition.
I've not gotten that far into the article, so I don't know. It would not surprise me.
Well, you had brought up that, if somebody's a dangerous criminal, they shouldn't be allowed to go on the loose anyway. Well, why, in that case, why have a bond? Why not abolish, that you have to give somebody a bond? If we're so worried about rapists and murderers going out on the loose when they're being accused of a crime.
Well, because if you get rid of the ability of a judge to set bond, then the guy that gets picked up for having 1/10 of a gram of cannabis.
He's saying for violent crimes.
Yeah. If we're concerned about that, why not just make it so on a violent crime you can't post a bond?
They have to stay in until trial is the proposal.
Yeah, right. I don't know how that would hold up to legal scrutiny of, now you're differentiating bail on certain conditions. You either get bail or you don't get bail because in either case you're innocent until proven guilty.
So what do you pick? If you had the choice, bail or no bail, what would you pick?
I would abolish bail for nonviolent crimes.
And so that somebody picked up with 1/10 of a gram of cannabis
they get right out. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. Not abolish bail, but make it so they can PR out, basically personal recognizance. That they don't have to pay a bail if they've been accused of something. Of course, I want to end nonviolent crimes altogether as far as a criminal charge. But if we're talking about bail reform, that might actually get a chance of passing. But eliminating bail and just allowing anybody to walk free after they've had handcuffs slapped on them is never going to go anywhere.
Or allowing the cop to just say everybody stays in until court. Also not going to fly.
That's also a terrible concept. Hey, thanks for the discussion. I appreciate it, Stefan. Yep. There's more coming up here. This is Free Talk Live. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. Do you need a website for your blog or new business? It can be pretty intimidating on your own, and that's why Free Talk Live has partnered with HostGator, one of the top hosting companies. HostGator offers a simple one-click, easy installation for WordPress, 24/7 over the phone or live chat tech support, and a very intuitive, user-friendly control panel that puts the power of creation back into your hands. Go to HostGator.com/FTL, and you'll get 50% off of their regular hosting prices. 50% off. HostGator.com/FTL.
Hey, diabetics. Yeah, you. Got a spare hour to waste going to the pharmacy to get your insulin or other meds and supplies every month? I didn't think so. Me either. I've got life going on, which is why I use PillPack. PillPack is an amazing online pharmacy. They package up all my diabetic meds and testing supplies into daily doses and send it to me every month, automatically. All I do is pay my normal copay. PillPack does the rest. I'm serious. This is a free service. They don't even charge for shipping. PillPack handles all the medical insurance stuff and even get with my doctors for my other prescriptions so I don't have to, which is good because that's the stuff I forget. But PillPack remembers everything. They even package up my daily vitamins so I remember to take them too. If you're diabetic, your meds and supplies are life and death, which means you need PillPack. Call right now for this free service. You may even qualify for $25 in free vitamins. 800-560-7310. That's 800-560-7310. Again, 800-560-7310.
Attention CPAP users, stop the insanity and torture of your CPAP mask. Don't you hate the skin irritation and terrible leaks? Jump on the CPAP Pro train, invented by an actual CPAP user that became so frustrated with CPAP masks. Are you ready to try something new? With absolutely no straps or headgear? Go to nomask.com and get the best night's sleep ever. Free to Medicare patients. Go to nomask.com. That's NOMASK.com.
If your home has hard water, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes, damaging your appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars each year. You can eliminate limescale in the entire house with HydroCare products available at Wave Home Solutions. Easy and efficient with no maintenance, no salts, no chemicals, and no coils. And you can buy with confidence from Wave Home Solutions. Performance guaranteed. Just go to bestwater411.com. That's bestwater411.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can dial on in toll-free here. Bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Darryl.
Now, we were talking about bail earlier and possible bail reform ideas.
Yeah, and I pulled up, I had the article pulled up, but I've read through a little bit more where the caller, Liberty Lobster /Stefan /Lobstertarian, called in about this woman in California that had bail set at $35 million because she was considered a flight risk because she was facing life in prison. The district attorney said, I think bail should be $100 million because she might wind up returning to China. Her family, which, you know, they're fairly wealthy, wound up raising the money to get her out. Well, she apparently was ordered to turn over her passport, wear an electronic monitor, and she's on house arrest until her trial begins in September.
Now, also, and I'm not intimately familiar with exactly how all of the details of bail work, couldn't they use some of that bail money to hire a bounty hunter? I mean, even the state. So let's say the family kicked in all $35 million, right? They didn't need to go to a bail bondsman or anything like that. And yeah, your average small town bail bondsman sure as hell isn't going to be able to foot that kind of money anyway.
Right.
But let's say the family kicked in all $35 million. There's nothing prohibiting that I know of the court from saying, all right, well, we'll just hire an agent, somebody who's not part of the government, because, government agents have some level of restriction on them. But if they hire a bounty hunter and say, hey, this girl just went back to Thailand or whatever, we'll give you, a cool $1 million if you can bring her back to us, or $2 million or whatever. They got $35 million at
I'm
their behest
also
at
not
that point.
intimately familiar with the way bounty hunters work, but generally I believe there is, a reward. Hence the term bounty. Yep. So it could be, you return her and the finder's fee, whatnot, is
10%.
X.
Yeah.
And I believe that money does come from the bail.
The bail. Yep, exactly. So, again, there's all these pressures to make sure that you're going to come back to court when you pay bail. I mean, ultimately, as far as the concept of bail, if it were only used in cases of people who are accused of committing violent, dangerous acts against other human beings, if it were only used for that purpose, it wouldn't be as objectionable, I don't think, to a lot
I
of
don't
people.
think you even need to add in the terms violent and dangerous. Just, people that have created a victim.
Sure.
Where the victim is not, quote unquote, society.
I mean, if we're talking about some kid who blows up a mailbox, he probably doesn't need to have bail and sit in a jail cell. I mean, just to clarify, when I'm saying get rid of bail, I'm saying just let the person personal recognizance out. That kind of thing.
But if somebody breaks into the studios while we're not here and steals all of the equipment, well, they didn't do anything violent because there was no human here when it happened, but they still created a victim.
Yep, that's definitely
why I
true.
say remove the violent and dangerous.
All right, fair enough. Again, these are things that people could discuss as far as.
And then also, I do think that there needs to be some sort of judicial discretion, for a lack of a better term, to where the judge does get to use common sense. Of little Timmy and his buddies decided to run around the neighborhood hitting mailboxes with a baseball bat, pay restitution, and paint the neighbor's fence or whatever. I'm not a fan of mandatory minimums because that takes all kinds of common sense away from the judge.
Let's go to your calls and thoughts here. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. It's Ian and Darryl here in the studio tonight as we go to your calls and thoughts. We got D. D is on the line, and I don't know where he's calling from, and he's on Skype. Go ahead, D.
Hey there, that is me. I just got to say I love you guys and what you do. Your gifts of discernment are fantastic, and I'm hoping that you can shed some light on a concept I've been toying with over the last couple months.
Okay.
So in the world system that we have, I got to try to make this quick. I think we incentivize madness. I think you can all agree with that. If I'm the CEO of a corporation and I want to have a successful business, I got my board of directors ahead of me, and they're responsible to my shareholders, and the shareholders don't really care what decisions that the corporation makes as long as they make their year-end returns at a plus, and the CEO doesn't get arrested for something stupid, right?
Sure. Yep, pretty much.
Okay, so we're also living in a day and age where AI seems to be taking over. I've been looking at that a lot, and in the next 20 years, it seems like the whole world is going to be changing that way, and it's kind of scary. It looks like we're going to be either way of Star Trek or the way of the Terminator, one of the two. My thought is,
why not both?
Yeah. My thought is, if we could somehow rework as a world, as a nation, international nation of individuals, forgetting sovereignty and governments and stuff, just looking at, since the power comes from currency, right? As I forget the proper quote, but show me. I don't care not who makes the laws of a kingdom, but just show me who makes their currency, and let me control the currency and control the world.
Yeah, that was like one of the Rothschilds or something like that.
Yes. So thinking along that line, we have amazing things like Bitcoin and all those cryptocurrencies out. We also have amazing things like Facebook. So my thought is, okay, if we made a framework as an international culture of something that was altruistic in its base, and so therefore I can, for example, talk a kid from committing suicide. And therefore I might I might publicize that. I'm going to get 100 likes. I might put up a video of me stomping a puppy, and I'm going to get 1,000 dislikes, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But if I can monetize somehow my 100 likes, let's say for $1 each, and make a discount of all my dislikes from the same kind of system, I then, in order to prosper in this world, have to selfishly look at altruistic means to achieve it.
What you're describing sounds a lot like episode 1 of season 3 of Black Mirror, where it was this reputation-based society to where everybody's walking around with their app open on their smartphone, and they wave at somebody, 5-star, 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 and you would get discounts at different restaurants and grocers and whatnot for having a certain rating, and it was just complete fakeness and phoniness because everybody wanted to get the high rating and nobody wanted to actually wind up being a real human and having real meaningful interactions with people.
Well, I think there would have to be a way to vet this concept, right? So you can't just say, hey, you're amazing, I did this. But there must be a way to vet the process in the same way I can say I got $1 million in my bank account, but if my SWIFT codes aren't aligning and everything doesn't fall in place, I obviously don't have that currency in me. And I think that comes down into the foundational principles that not only is there this altruistic process or concept that we all abide by, but there are ways to vet all of those 5 stars, pluses and minuses. Whether it be something as hearsay as talking a kid off a cliff, or something more real like legitimately finding a cure for cancer that doesn't get stolen away and hidden in some archive. That's going to be very, very
I'm still
tangible.
trying to get a handle on what you're proposing. You're saying that
a Yelp for people, basically, that somehow is tied to currency is what it sounds like to me.
So where would the money come from that people were just handing out dollars to folks that they like? Where does that come from?
So if we centralize something like a cryptocurrency, so say whether it be Bitcoin or I create a altruism coin, I'm just being stupid here. I haven't thought this all through.
Okay.
But
that's what we're doing now. So go ahead.
Yes. Whose only means of transact is by some receipt. Instead of converting fiat currency to it, we must follow the mandates as done by some guidelines, and we must succeed in that way to then get that disbursements to our personal account. Right. And therefore, I, as a business owner, I run my own business or a few. I would be more than happy if I sold bagels for $1 each. I'd be more than happy to sell it for 90 cents instead of $1 if someone comes into my bagel store and says that they did it through using this altruistic currency because I know they're having a positive influence on my environment. So we have now incentivized people to use the currency beyond convenience. We've incentivized vendors to leverage this approach more than other currencies rather than fiat, right? So, and it will be some centralized purpose. Its sole purpose, the only way to achieve it is through some altruistic means that would have to be, and I don't know how to describe it, and I think I'll put that out to the world to describe. But
didn't you say that people would get hurt, like they would be harmed, or their account would somehow be harmed if they got downvotes?
So in essence, when I think of downvotes, so I think if I'm manufacturing a pen, right? So I make a pen, I can get, let's say, 1 upvote from my manufacturing process. But if I put that pen in a box that's 3 feet by 3 feet, I'm damaging the environment. So therefore, I might get a dock on my same product value because of my waste in my approach, in my design approach. So I'm now incentivized to make a more efficient package and a more efficient.
But you're already incentivized to do those things. Hang on, we can continue though. I think it's kind of interesting, so we'll continue here in moments. This is Free Talk Live. Hour 2 coming up.
Bitcoin.com is of the opinion that the current Bitcoin core development team is not taking satisfactory steps to ensure the growth and advancement of Bitcoin in accordance with Satoshi's vision. As community efforts to resolve these problems have failed, it is necessary to resolve them with a different approach. By using subreddit r/BTC instead of r/Bitcoin and running Bitcoin Unlimited, you are casting a vote against the current development team. Learn more at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
A funny thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Modern advertisers have been trained to look for trackability in their advertising, and web search ads are great for that. They also help you get the consumer that's looking for products like yours in the moment. But they're expensive, and they do nothing to convince people to try your product segment in the first place. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. If you can use national exposure, Free Talk Live's on more than 150 stations, and we can help advertisers with little budgets and big ones. Send me an email, mark@freetalklive.com. It's mark@freetalklive.com. There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. coincap.io.
Free Talk Live has partnered with Amazon, the largest internet retailer. Imagine a department store category, and Amazon has it. Books, electronics, office products, furniture, jewelry, automotive, toys, clothing, sporting goods, and dozens of other categories. Now you can shop and support Free Talk Live by entering Amazon through our website. Go to shop.freetalklive.com, and Amazon will send us a portion of your purchase. You're going to do the shopping anyway, so remember to enter through our site at shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, May 10th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.29 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,224 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.1 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $1,749. Antiwar.com reports Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan was already making much of his plans to lambast President Trump during his D.C. visit last month, complaining about the U.S. provision of arms and military support to Kurdish factions that Turkey considers terrorist. That issue is going to be even bigger now, as President Trump has signed off on a plan to directly arm the Syrian Kurds with even heavier weapons than ever provided before, a move which the Pentagon was pushing as part of the Kurdish YPG's invasion of the Islamic State capital of Raqqa. The Kurds had already received a lot of weaponry and some limited armored vehicles from the U.S. before, and this move eliminates restrictions on what more will be sent, though so far it's not entirely clear what's going to end up going to the Kurds. Anything the Kurds get is likely to be used against NATO member Turkey, however, as Turkey has been attacking the YPG off and on over the past year, and the YPG has been firing back intermittently when the opportunity presents itself. The decision to arm them further amid this tension is likely to be chief among Turkey's objections. That may be the reason for the timing, as President Trump clearly does not like being publicly contradicted, and Erdogan has been very public in objecting to the U.S. support for the Kurds. But it also runs contrary to the U.S. stated policy of keeping Syria united under a strong central government, and the political wing of the YPG, the PYD, has set up a large autonomous region in northeastern Syria, and the U.S. is now giving them so many arms they'll clearly be able to keep that area autonomous beyond the current war, even though the U.S. officially doesn't want that. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports on a surprise move Tuesday, President Donald Trump fired FBI Director James Comey, an abrupt move that has many congressional Democrats wondering if the move could be a move to undercut the DOJ's ongoing investigation into potential Russia ties with the president's campaign. The White House confirmed Comey's firing Tuesday afternoon, and Trump informed the FBI chief in a letter. Trump said in a letter to Comey, "While I greatly appreciate you informing me on 3 separate occasions that I am not under investigation, I nevertheless concur with the judgment of the Department of Justice that you were not able to effectively lead the Bureau." The president said he acted on the clear advice of U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. Trump's letter stated, "I have accepted their recommendation and you are hereby terminated and removed from office effective immediately." Sessions and Rosenstein each sent letters to Trump on Tuesday recommending that he relieve Comey of his duties. Sessions said he felt a fresh start was needed at the Bureau. Sessions wrote, "The director of the FBI must be someone who follows faithfully the rules and principles of the Department of Justice and who sets the right example for our law enforcement officials and others." In his memorandum, Rosenstein said the FBI had taken damage to its reputation and credibility over the last year. Comey's dismissal followed the revelation Tuesday that the FBI director made a mistake when testifying in Congress last week when he falsely testified that former Hillary Clinton aide Huma Abedin had forwarded hundreds of thousands of emails relevant to the Bureau's investigation to the laptop of her estranged husband, former Representative Anthony Weiner. The FBI clarified the erroneous testimony in a letter to Congress earlier Tuesday, addressed to the Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Charles Grassley of Iowa. The FBI noted the clear distinction between manually forwarding emails and having them uploaded via standard backup processes. The Bureau said of nearly 50,000 emails on Weiner's computer that were pertinent to the Clinton investigation, it found that only 2 with classified information were forwarded manually by Abedin and 10 were sent via the backup process, a substantial difference from Comey's claim of hundreds of thousands. The president's move Tuesday sent shockwaves through the Democratic Party, where many met news of Comey's firing with questions about its unusual timing and whether it might be aimed at the DOJ's Russia investigation. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
A report on obesity rates released this week by the CDC confirmed that millions of courageous Americans continue to overcome the media's persistent pressure to be thin. Researchers told reporters that while the vast majority of film and television continues to portray thin, in-shape people, over 30% of Americans remain resolved in their effort to stand up to idealized images of men and women.
Every day, people are inundated with unvarying images of slim men and women, but millions of heroic Americans continue doing their best every day to maintain BMIs of 35 or higher. These people aren't afraid to fly in the face popular culture deems acceptable and bravely eat and drink whatever they want, whenever they want.
In other news, the nation's single men announce a plan to change their bed sheets by 2019. A woman who left the room crying earlier expects to jump back into the party just like that. And a courtroom artist is clearly infatuated with the bailiff. This 2.5-minute-long session of immersion therapy is finally complete. Your crippling fear of watching video news recaps should no longer be a problem. For more, keep checking theonion.com.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live, launching into the second hour of the program. You can dial toll free. You can join us here on the radio. Our number is 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. Tonight in studio, it's Ian.
And Darryl.
We're going to continue with your calls and thoughts. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. We've got an unusual call here from D. He's on the line in Skype land. And he's proposing something that I don't know if I can really recap effectively. It's a little...
I could probably recap it, but I would definitely be putting a bias.
Yeah, it's some kind of cryptocurrency-based...
cryptocurrency that's sort of a... the word just escaped me.
Yeah, for whatever
sort
reason,
of like
I wanted to say
a
restitution.
Yelp for people.
Right, where people can sort of help or ding
reputation.
Somebody.
That's the word
I was missing it too. So that's kind of what my understanding
you do
has
something
been.
good and people give you 5 stars or a like and you wind up getting currency. You do something bad and people vote you down and then you lose currency. And as I mentioned earlier, this sounds very much like the plot line for Season 3, Episode 1 of Black Mirror, where it's a reputation-based society, and everybody's just running around with their smartphones open, 5-star, 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 and the sort of actual meat of the episode happens when the woman goes to the airport, and she's just a couple minutes late for checking in, and she raises her voice and, excuse me, ma'am, you're yelling, and blah, blah, blah. We're going to have to dock you, and now you're in, like, the negative bonus, so every time you get docked, it deducts double, and she winds up going to where, like, her rating is 0 because all of these double bonus hits and whatnot.
And then what happens to her?
And then she winds up realizing that it's all BS. She gets picked up by a truck driver that's got like a 1.2 rating because this woman lives her life. Like, she's not one of the phonies that's just 5-star, 5-star. She's like, you know what? F it.
Yeah. And she made a good connection with somebody else who got screwed over, too.
Yes. And that's really what, sort of implanted in her, that the entire thing was just like a fake. It was a fake reality.
All right, D. So go ahead, continue with your vision here.
I'm thinking well beyond just social constructs. Like, let's take a look at the manufacturing life cycle. So I spoke to it, incentivizing lack of waste. And I agree with you. We already have incentives to not waste because then we're just wasting product for no reason. But if I got away with it, I can build a straw and put it in a 1-pound package. And then I just have to, the Africans have to deal with my waste when it's done. So long as I can pay the lobby groups or dupe people with my marketing campaign well enough to want to buy my stuff anyway. However, or we'd have a government saying, well, we're going to now make an e-waste tax or something. In my mind, if I make a product, for example, and I'm not talking about figurative things, I like you, I dislike you, so you're going to make more money or less. If I make a product, you can then measure my product. Part of the cost of making that product is my disposal. If my disposal of that product damages the environment, then that product will be more expensive to make. If it does not damage the environment, then it'll be cheaper to make. So now we want to make cheaper products, and also that we're incentivized to be good to our environment. Yes, it's tough to then say, I like you, so I'm going to give you 5 stars, because you can't vet that easily. But I'm talking about things that can be quantified, qualified, and measured. And with that, in that way, we can then finalize a currency.
Yeah, but who decides? I mean, you're saying that somebody, can program or individual or whatever would determine whether or not somebody has been wasteful in their product packaging by using certain things that are supposedly not good for the environment or whatever. But what if people disagree? I mean, is it going to be some sort of central bureaucracy?
There's a beer that puts the bottle inside a taxidermied squirrel. Some person would wind up being like, that's very ineffective packaging. Yeah, it's very ineffective, but it's great for marketing because, they try to have the highest alcohol content beer. And
what's it called?
I forget.
Squirrel nuts?
No. I know it's not that.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up, but that's their thing to where they're
swirl.
We've got to have something other than just really high alcohol content beer. Let's put it inside a taxidermied squirrel.
And also, I mean, aren't you talking about so like if a bunch of people who are so concerned with waste were to look at that product, they might say, this is bad, let's downvote this thing, even though they might not have even been the target market for that particular product. You're essentially talking about getting rid of all kinds of niche products here, right?
Well, no, I think that, again, it will then be defined by a custom algorithm or something of that sort. That way the emotional bias can be mitigated, right? So, and it reminds me of the, what's that movie, iRobot, where there's the tenets, I forget, the 3 laws of robots. Some guy decided, I'm going to make 3 rules that will then protect mankind against the totalitarian robotic possibility. I do not know how this can be described. I know there's successful things like the World Wide Web Consortium, W3C, which theoretically is great, but sometimes it's not, depends on how political you want to get. But describe some way that is then somehow ironclad or started in some area that is sandboxed. Say, okay, here's a beta test for a particular vertical in a certain way that we can prove this concept, because it would be a holistic change to everything we know.
Yeah, but okay, so you're facing a whole bunch of problems here, and again, I'm sure we're just kind of glossing over your concept here for the purpose of having a conversation. But you're facing a whole bunch of problems. The number one problem is adoption. I mean, you're not going to be able to get everyone to adopt this idea. So you should probably stop planning for that as even a possibility, because that's an impossibility. You're never going to convince everybody to adopt this unless you want to use the force of the state to do it, in which case then I'll obviously oppose something like that, and so would a lot of people. But
or use free market principles that will entice people to want to make that switch for some reason.
I don't see why. From what I've heard so far, it sounds like you're giving people who are not the target market for products the ability to have influence over how those products are marketed, or whether they're marketed at all, or what products that or what things that they're made from. And that's really none of those people's business. If somebody doesn't like a product in the supposedly free market, they can boycott the product, or just simply not buy the product. But ultimately, they shouldn't have any say as to whether or not that product can be marketed at all, or how that product is made. And it sounds like your system is going, if someone's participating in it, and again, why they would want to, I'm still not sure. But it sounds like they would be restricted by these people.
Again, I'm just reaching for the sky because this is a fresh idea. Unless you make this that the manufacturers in a certain sector can have an agreement upon one another, but then you're looking at another form of social elite, societal elite, contending with this. I don't know the details, man, but I think from a societal construct, if you can incentivize somehow people's altruistic goals for turn their selfish means to be
But people can't be altruistic. I mean, this is one of the few things I think I agree with, like Ayn Rand on. I don't really much care for some of the stuff she says, but I think that everybody's always selfish because they're always doing things that feel good. So even if they're giving to others, it feels good to give to others. It's nice to help someone who's in need. And so, we want to be good to others because we know that it can come back to us as, goodness. So you treat others as how you want to be treated. That's not necessarily altruistic. It's as it is selfish. And so you're essentially talking about trying to change human nature. And I don't know how likely that is going to be to work out at all.
You leverage the selfish nature of our humanity, and you, as you leverage that, you're enforcing a positive swing to it. If the only way I could become a millionaire in this world is by not subjugating another, and by giving some positive influence in our planet, then for my selfish means, I have to behave altruistically, even if I'm a maniacal fiend. Look, generally the way you get wealthy is by giving people what they want. So, is that altruism or is it selfishness? Because if you give them what they want, they're going to give you what you want, which is, the profit that it takes to keep your business going.
And I want beer inside a taxidermied squirrel. It's called The End of History, and it's sold out.
Dee, I wish you the best with your idea. It sounds like it's got a lot of development to be worked on, and then you've got the process of once you've developed the idea to try to convince people, and that's going to be the hardest part about it. Thanks for the call tonight. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. As of right now, count me out. This is Free Talk Live.
Warning. If you've recently declared bankruptcy, you're going to want to cover your ears, because there's an alternative to bankruptcy, and it could be better than you'd ever think possible. But if you've already declared bankruptcy and have missed this opportunity, you'll want to cover your ears now. Here it is. Right now, the company that has resolved more credit card debt than anyone in the U.S. may be able to settle your debt too. You could resolve your debt with one low monthly program payment. If you call right now and qualify, Freedom Debt Relief will show you how low your monthly program payment could be for free. Call now, 1-800-660-1581. That's 1-800-660-1581. If you're struggling with debt, this could be your answer. And the bigger your debt, the more money you could save. To find out for free how much of your hard-earned money Freedom Debt Relief could help you save, call now. 1-800-660-1581. 1-800-660-1581. 1-800-660-1581.
Are you happy washing your hands with harsh chemicals? Are you happy doing laundry with detergents? Are you happy paying high prices? Find your happiness with Pure Soap. These all-natural, earth-friendly Pure Soaps are the very best you've ever used. Buy in bulk. Get a 12, 36, or 48-month supply, or get items individually and still save big. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now, earth-friendly and natural soaps. Your family deserves the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com. Why not put your money up the drain for a change? See them at 5starsoap.com or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog. Cal Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils. See their full selection of soaps at 5starsoap.com. That's F-I-V-E starsoap.com. Or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website, fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper, FPP News, at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love. But make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Darryl.
We're going to continue with your calls and thoughts. You can bring up anything that you want. And have you ever noticed how you feel sluggish and tired after a big meal? Well, that's because your body's enzymes are prioritizing the digestion of food. That's why many people take digestive enzyme supplements. Quality enzyme supplement that contains a full array of enzymes will help digest all three of those macronutrients, proteins, fats, and carbs. This means more energy for you and improved weight management over time. Some nutritional experts even feel a digestive enzyme supplement is more important than a vitamin mineral supplement. But with Whole Food Multi-Complete, you don't have to decide between the two. Whole Food Multi-Complete includes both vitamins and minerals, as well as the digestive enzymes in a single product. And not only that, they include 5 other classes of nutrients, a total of 54 nutrients. And for 15 years, Whole Food Multi-Complete has combined digestive enzymes, vitamins and minerals, probiotics, antioxidants, herbal immune support, and more into a single product. They're the only one that does a 7-in-1 product, so they're making thousands of people healthier while saving them thousands of dollars. 30% off is your discount if you use coupon code FTL for your first order, and that basically brings the cost down to what their cost is when you do that. You go to simplifymysupplements.com and you try it out with the coupon code FTL, like Free Talk Live, for that 30% off. They do take Bitcoin, by the way. And you can get the Bitcoin discount by emailing them, and there's a contact form there on the site that can help you with that. So again, simplifymysupplements.com, code FTL. Let's go to...
And don't forget the free shipping on orders over $60.
That's right. Let's go to your calls and thoughts here. We go to Peter. He's in California. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Peter.
Hey, guys. First off, I really enjoy your show.
Thanks.
I've been listening for probably a couple of years, and I'm probably the one listener that disagrees with probably 95% of what you say, but I really like your show. I enjoy it.
Cool.
So I was on my walk today, and I heard you guys talking about illegal labor, and I worked in the construction industry for about 30 years. And the fact that you guys were saying that they work so much harder than Americans was almost offensive, because, I've worked with illegals for 30 years. I've been able to keep up with them. My kids, my son's first job, out here in the California desert, it can be like 115 degrees. He's been out there working construction. My daughter worked 3 jobs while she went to college. So the fact that you guys were saying that, Americans can't keep up with the legal labor was a little offensive, because, we don't have,
well, obviously there are some Americans who can keep up. I mean, there's individuals out there all different. I mean, it would be silly to say that.
No, but go ahead.
Yeah, it would be silly to say that every person who comes here without filling out paperwork is going to be better at an American than some given task. But overall, when we've talked to people who've been in the construction trade and in other trades where people have to work real hard outdoors and physical labor and all that, there's always been raving reviews generally for Hispanics, whether they be legal or illegal. Just they seem to be more willing to take jobs that a lot of Americans don't want to take.
Either documented or undocumented, because if you call somebody illegal, then you're basically saying that they, as a person, are somehow inherently against the law.
Right. I thank you for that, Darryl. You're right. That's also my preference.
And also, I don't think that conversation happened tonight, so I don't know if you were listening
about
to
another show.
something that happened yesterday.
And it wasn't said in the way he's...
I was listening to a podcast. It was probably 4 or 5 days old. I can't remember. I was out on my walk today.
It wasn't said exactly in the way that Peter's representing it. It was said, as I recall, it just sort of acknowledging.
I don't recall being on a show where that was discussed. That's why
it was said, as I recall, in a way that suggested that people who are Hispanic immigrants are more likely to take a lot of jobs that Americans don't want, and that they do tend to be hardworking folks. And that's just what we've heard over the years.
I actually supervised a crew when I think I was 18 years old. I went on I worked for a landscaper, and I was actually hired, whoever the host was that night, I can't recall who it was, but they had worked for a roofing company, and they had been hired kind of in the same capacity I was. I was able to speak English, so I was kind of put on the crew to supervise the crew. And I'll be honest with you, the undocumented workers, as you guys put it, they didn't work any less harder than I did. And, so I was just
Is it possible that you are an unusual specimen, that you are harder
I'll tell you what,
working than the average?
I was raised by a really hard-working dad. He worked 2 jobs to raise us. I had no problem going to work at 15 years old. I worked out in 115 degrees all day. And so that was a little bit,
I would say
a little bit offensive to me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're certainly free to be offended. I mean, it's just, from what we understand of having hosted this show for a long time and having talked to a lot of people in the trade that you're in, that is the general, statement.
And also reading news stories, because it was several years ago when Georgia passed some kind of law that was intended to crack down on undocumented immigrants. So a lot of the people that some were in the country legally, they just didn't want to be hassled by the cops. They wound up leaving. The farmers in Georgia had trouble finding people to work in the fields. So they contacted the local prisons and said, hey, Mr. Prison Guy, got a proposition for you. You've got a bunch of people that
but
you
those
need
probationers out here,
put to work. So instead of having them walk on the side of the highway picking up litter, can you have them come out to my farm? And they said, sure. They worked one day, and then a very large number, I forget the percentage.
Most of them walked off the job the first day, and the rest of them didn't come back the next day, is what happened.
They said, put me in solitary, I'm not going back.
Yeah, that's probably a work ethic issue. I would say you can't generalize the American public as, non-working, kind of lazy.
Well, the fact that the farmers could not
find anyone.
Employees, and the only labor they could get was what equates to slave labor, and they said, I'd rather be in solitary than outside working.
Yeah, it's not to say that
that's just plain
people...
lazy.
Huh?
That's just plain lazy. That's just, that's just a work
But just
ethic.
because somebody doesn't want to show up to a back-breaking job doesn't mean that person's lazy. It just means that they would prefer not to do that kind of a task at the rate that they're paying. If all of a sudden they started paying, $100,000 a day, you'd find people out there happily throwing watermelons with a big smile on their face.
Not necessarily. Chris Reitman, one of the Thursday night hosts, he pulled up a statistic where some millennials were surveyed about would they work, I think it was work on a farm or construction for fill-in-the-blank rate, and like 70% said that they would not do that job for $100,000.
Yeah, I said $100,000 a day.
Oh, my gosh,
I said
crazy.
per day.
I worked for a whole lot less.
Hey, Peter, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. There wasn't any kind of an indictment against you. It was just simply a statement of observation of what people say. And, maybe you're a lot harder working than the average American. Apparently, it wouldn't be that hard to do that. More coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
Has your body ever gone low blood sugar, feeling weak, shaky, knowing you better eat something fast? We all know high blood sugar can lead to many metabolic problems. At GCNteam.com, we have a healthy blood sugar pack, focusing on the structure and function of stable blood sugar. Find us at GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Nothing feels worse than unstable blood sugar. Call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Do you know what's lurking in your water? More than 200 contaminants could be sitting there, just waiting for your glass. With a ProPure water filter, start enjoying clean and great-tasting water today. ProPure filters, independently tested, latest water filter technology. ProPure systems do not require electricity and are easy to set up and easy to use. To find out more, visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live shows 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit did your nerves spike. You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, bring up whatever you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And you can join us here. Our toll free number, again, 855-450-FREE. Kallen Diggs is joining us here in the studio tonight. Ian and Darryl filling in for Mark because he's gone on a pig rescue mission.
What's going on with that? All I know is Mark had sent a message earlier of I'm not going to be able to be in. I'll compensate Darryl if he's able to cover for me.
Well, he had said in that same message why he couldn't come in, and that's because his pigs got kidnapped by the SPCA and the government, apparently. For those that are longer term listeners or podcast listeners.
Message that I'm pulling up the message that he sent now in our Telegram group. He says it's unlikely I'll be in tonight.
Oh, you're right.
I'm going with New York going with Jay to New York to get my pigs.
Oh, I apologize. Maybe he called me or something. I don't know. I don't know how I learned that.
And it was like, what? So actually, I didn't even see that. I just saw it's unlikely I'll be in, and then his next message of I'll pay Darryl.
So he does say that he's going to get the pigs. So you didn't know that his pigs were taken is the thing.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, recently, I guess several days ago now, perhaps, or maybe just a few days ago, earlier this week, Mark's pigs. For longtime listeners, podcast listeners, you probably already know Mark has had this hobby of raising pigs for the last few years, maybe 3 or 4 years.
Naming them after senators and presidents.
And so, he then slaughters them, so raises them, then slaughters them, and then, I guess he sometimes would raise them for other people and slaughter them for other people. So, like, if you wanted to have your own pig and all the meat that would come with that, you could, like, give him some money, and then he would do that for you, as I understood it. And
so you would basically just pay him to feed and raise the pig.
Correct. And then I guess slaughter it as well. Or he's got a guy who helps him with that, or he's done different levels of it over time. So he's sort of like explored this whole pig raising hobby. It's not really something that he could turn into a business because it's, he's not doing it at a level at which it would be profitable or in any way competitive to, have prices that could compete with the rest of the market. So it was more just kind of a for fun thing. And then, so I guess he recently had some pigs at some lady's house who was taking care of them for him because he's kind of getting out. He's wanting to get out of the whole pig scene, I guess. He's kind of burned out on it.
Okay.
He's having his midlife crisis, and so he tried pigs, and then he tried a boat, and he's not really, he's kind of tired of the boat. Now he's kind of tired of the pigs, and I don't know if he's going to get a fancy car next or what his next thing's going to be, but ultimately he's not out of the woods yet when it comes to these pigs because apparently the woman that he had taking care of them has now been accused of animal abuse. So the SPCA came in, confiscated the pigs from her. Mark caught wind of what had happened, and so apparently he had to contact the SPCA and, show them evidence that he was the rightful owner of the pigs, and they're not going to deliver the pigs to him, so he had to drive down to New York, and he hired Jay Noon, who's normally our Wednesday night co-host, who's, a farmhand type, good roughneck.
Yep.
He got Jay, and they both went down there, and I haven't heard from him, so presumably they're doing all right, but...
The SPA said, you know what, Mark, you want to get out the business? We're going to do you a favor. We're going to take your pigs away from you.
Yeah, well, apparently he didn't want them in their hands. So, I guess he's going to get them back. I don't know what he's going to do with them next. Maybe he's going to be deep in pig S for the next year. I don't know, but that's where he is tonight. So let's go back to your calls and thoughts here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Tom's in Baltimore. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Tom.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Yeah, how are you? I had a debate with a university professor a couple of years ago about freedom, and I'm segueing off of your pig story, by the way, for this example. He thought that indeed we were free. I say absolutely not, and rather than draw out a long list of things, I based my argument on one premise that it would be impossible for anyone, for the most part in this country, to stay in their home for 2 months and not be molested. I don't mean in a sexual way, but not be molested by the state. That is, not answer your phone, not pay your bills, just be left alone for 2 months. I still believe that to be true. We can play around with the amount of time, but for the most part, they're going to come for you to bother you for something and probably charge you with some type of crime at some point in time or remove you from your home.
Well, I mean, you can get away with living in your home without the state coming after you generally, but eventually they're going to send a property tax bill. So, I mean, at some point there's going to be some sort of nasty gram coming from some state agency, even though it might be more like once a year than once every 2 months.
There you go. There you go. But I would argue that probably they would come prior to a tax issue. Now, if you're in the woods, there would be maybe some exceptions.
Well, really, you don't really. No one really owns their property because you're going to know who's boss once you start paying those property taxes.
Oh yeah.
So really, we just have partial ownership of property, or better yet, it's just contingent on our ability to pay the taxes to the state.
We're absolutely renting property. We don't own it. It's a big scam. And by the way, I think it's absolutely illegal and unconstitutional because if indeed we're guaranteed the pursuit of happiness, then certainly we need a place to lay our heads and to do our personal business. And a home is absolutely essential to that. Now, you should not be forced out of a home or denied a home simply because you cannot continue to pay rent. Mm-hmm. If you own property,
if you own the place, I mean, if you're renting a place from an owner, then they should be able to kick you out.
Well, I'm referring to the tax as even if you quote unquote own property, you really don't own it. You're really renting. Of course, if you're renting from someone else, that's a whole different set of circumstance.
Gotcha.
But there are certain ways to argue the property tax issue, and they seem pretty sound. That would probably be good for another show. But I wanted to touch briefly on the bail issue. We recently here in Maryland, this year, in fact, had our legislature talk about and attempt to remove bail. And, of course, you can imagine the arguments that took place. And
when you say remove it, do you mean that no one would receive bail and would have to stay in jail until court, or remove it in that people would just be cut loose on personal recognizance?
People would be released on recog, yeah. And now, listen, I have opinions that side with each two sides of the aisle relative to the liberals and conservatives who were arguing this. Again, I can't stand a two-party system. The Constitution doesn't call for it. I think it's simply a way to set people against one another. If we simply adhere to one set of rules, you see now, there's nothing getting done, and it's only going to get worse. But that's another issue. Relative to bail, listen, it's a real problem, and I understand that there are some people, for numerous reasons, sometimes for their own safety, should be at least monitored. But here's where it really gets ugly. There are people, if they have money and they can afford bail, say they're in New York, it could mean the difference between ending up in hellish Rikers Island for months or years prior to trial, or going home and preparing for your trial.
Sure.
And that trial preparation is the real insidious thing that doesn't get talked about enough, because when you are held prior to your trial, for one thing, I've got a lot of issues with that in of itself due to the lie about being innocent until proven guilty. But here's the big thing. You cannot prepare for your trial.
Not effectively. I mean, certainly you can hire a lawyer
when you go to court.
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly hire a lawyer, and that can help, but not everyone should feel like they have to hire a lawyer.
You can't collect your personal evidence at your house and put it together anywhere near effectively as you can.
That's definitely true. Tom, thanks for the call tonight, but at the same time, do you want to let a bunch of potentially dangerous people back out into the streets? It's a tough call. More coming up. Free Talk Live has partnered with Amazon, the largest internet retailer. Imagine a department store category, and Amazon has it. Books, electronics, office products, furniture, jewelry, automotive, toys, clothing, sporting goods, and dozens of other categories. Now you can shop and support Free Talk Live by entering Amazon through our website. Go to shop.freetalklive.com, and Amazon will send us a portion of your purchase. You're going to do the shopping anyway, so remember to enter through our site at shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com recently reported Bitcoin transaction fees have increased by more than 1,200% since 2015. To many Bitcoin proponents, the current fee market is moving way too fast, making Bitcoin unusable for certain transactions. The fee market and slow confirmation times have also increased the tension concerning the block size debate. However, if there are wallets with low amounts of Bitcoin that can't cover the fees, they become virtually unspendable. Learn more at news.bitcoin.com. That's news.bitcoin.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu. 641-793-9660.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, dial toll free, and bring up whatever's on your mind. Our number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we do have Skype. You can Skype in here at username LRN.FM. You want to get your shopping done over at Amazon, Amazon Canada, UK, US. You go and you can help Free Talk Live so you can get the same great deals you're used to and also help Free Talk Live by going to shop.freetalklive.com. You just enter Amazon through the links you'll find there. Again, that's shop.freetalklive.com. And then whatever you buy, Free Talk Live gets a portion of the purchase price, which helps us out a lot. So please just take that extra moment if you're going to go shopping at Amazon and go to shop.freetalklive.com to start your experience. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Kallen,
and Darryl.
Kallen is with us, coming in sort of halfway through, but it's better to have you than not, from the host of Reaching the Finish Line, which you can go and check out at reachingthefinishline.com.
Yes.
All right, so more on the way here with your calls and thoughts. Let's talk to Libertarian Banker. He's somewhere in the United States listening on LRN.FM. Hello, Libertarian Banker.
Hey, guys. How's it going tonight?
What's on your mind?
I wanted to, you guys had earlier talked about how, you don't own your own property and, you have to pay your taxes every so often. It just kind of spurred my memory, and I wanted to talk about how banks and governments make money together in ways that people kind of don't realize.
All right.
So, one thing is the escrow accounts that they use to escrow money for your quarterly deposits. Your quarterly tax payments and your insurance. And banks make a lot of money off of those accounts by charging fees, and they get to hold on to the money for 6 months or a year at really low to no interest rates. Obviously, and loan that money out. So that's one way that they can kind of make money.
Lending.
So well, we know about fractional reserve, but is that what you're talking about? What are these escrow accounts? I'm not really familiar with those.
So when you have a mortgage, you have to pay. The mortgage company wants to make sure you're paying your taxes and insurance on time. So what they do is they collect additional on top of your principal and interest payment. They collect an additional payment every month, and they put that in an account for you.
Yeah.
And that account can build up over time, and and then every 6 months they pay the taxes with that money. So what they're doing is basically making sure that you're paying your taxes and insurance on time. And what I'm saying is that they have these accounts at the banks, and they charge fees for managing these escrow accounts. They're like checking accounts. They're like savings accounts or whatever, and they don't charge much interest on them, or they don't pay much interest on them. So they're actually getting to use that money for free.
Yeah, I've had a couple mortgages in my life, and I don't recall having the terms because I had to pay the taxes on my own during those times. So apparently, not every mortgage includes that.
Well, it depends on if you have like a regular 30-year like Fannie Mae or FHA type of mortgage, you're going to have to escrow for that stuff. But if it's a different type of bank mortgage, there are different types of ones. Some of them don't, but most of them do. But anyway, that's
and
one
so
of
you're
the
saying
ways
they
that
actually
the banks
advertise that the person will earn money on the money that they're paying?
No. Ian, you're not understanding. So they require you to put an additional, let's say, $500 a month into this account. And so that checking account builds up over time, and every 6 months they pay your taxes, and every year they pay your homeowner's insurance out of that account.
No, I understand that, but I thought that what you said earlier was that the bank, some of them actually pay a small interest rate on those accounts.
No, they don't pay anything.
I wouldn't have.
He's saying they get to use that.
Yeah,
money
I understand that.
Free.
I understand that. Which is why I was surprised when you said that some banks pay interest, because I wouldn't have thought that they would have paid any interest on that. So we're in agreement.
No, they and maybe some do. I don't know. The market moves up and down, so they may or may not.
I've never heard of that. I mean, I've definitely heard of the banks taking extra for property taxes, but I've never heard of them paying interest on the money that they confiscate. I would think that they're doing what you had originally said, which is
every year you get a statement called an escrow statement that has the balance, all the transactions that went through there. Look at there next time and see if they pay you anything.
Oh, I don't.
See if they charge you a fee.
Oh, you're talking to our listeners because I don't have any mortgages.
So I want to move on. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was what they call an RFP, a request for proposal. Okay. So cities and municipalities, states, counties, they all have, checking accounts, and they have needs, for bank services.
Yep.
So banks compete. They'll come to the government and they'll put in a proposal how much they're going to charge for this and that. And a lot of that includes what are called lockbox services. So people don't know what, but what this means is anytime you submit your tax payment to the city, whether you're paying your car tax or tax on your real estate, you submit it to you mail it to a P.O. box. Well, a bank, that's a bank-owned P.O. box. The bank goes to that P.O. box, picks up the deposits at that P.O. box, takes it back, processes all the checks, submits a report back to the municipality, the county, or whatever, and gets paid for that service. So that's another way that banks and governments can collude to make money together.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know about that one.
And also people that would use that service would be like people that own big apartment complexes, or somebody that's the cable company, the power company. They don't own a P.O. box, and they're not going down there checking it. They have a bank that's doing that service for them.
Wow.
I don't think they
don't do that here.
Utility bills that you get, it doesn't go to a P.O. box. It's got the actual physical address.
He's just saying this is he's just saying this is a way they can make money. He's just saying this is hold on. He's just saying this is one way a bank can make some money. It doesn't mean that all power services are doing this.
The way I heard it was every utility company winds up doing it this way.
No.
So, yeah, sorry. It's a competitive market. So banks are competing for business, and obviously they might bring that in-house. It might be cheaper to do it that way.
Or there might be some other payment processor out there that's offering to do it for less than the bank or whatever. And here in New Hampshire, at least in Keene, it's the government that you send the property tax bills to, so they're handling all that in-house.
Right, you send it to 3 Washington Street, which is City Hall.
Right, but that doesn't mean that there aren't places out there with it. I mean, this guy's a banker.
Larger cities are not managing that. I promise you. But another thing in that request for proposal, the RFP that I was talking about, that the banks submit to the government, is ACH origination. And what that is that gives the government the ability to, debit, do automatic debit. So if you wanted something debited automatically out of your checking account, or you wanted it, automatically paid every 6 months, like the real estate taxes we were talking about, the bank will offer them the ability to do that for a charge, maybe a per month or per item charge for that ACH service. And that's all through the Federal Reserve System. You guys have talked about that before, but that's another way that they can, kind of make money with the local governments and everything. And the final way, I know we're short on time, is massive deposits. Okay, these governments, they have a ton of deposits, and they don't have just regular FDIC insurance on these deposits. When a bank takes on a municipality or some type of county or something, they have to purchase a bond to insure that money, because it could be millions and millions of dollars. And obviously FDIC insurance is like $500,000.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it was 500. It was 500,000 for a little while, but it might go back down, whatever. But either way,
it was 100,000, and then I thought it went up to 250,000. I didn't know that they'd bumped it up to 500,000.
Sure. So 250. You're right, Ian. You're right.
Yeah.
But they don't. They don't have that normal insurance. There's actually a bond that is purchased, and so it's again, that purchase of that bond is another way the banks and the investment companies make money off of these government funds.
Thanks for the rundown. Very informative, very interesting, Libertarian banker. I appreciate the call tonight. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE.
And just pulled up the FDIC. It is $250,000.
Yeah.
It was increased temporarily from October 3rd, 2008 through December of 2010. And in May 2009,
increased
that was
to
extended from 100,000 to the 250.
Right.
Was supposed to be temporary during that bailout, the TARP thing. Then in 2009, that increase to 250 was extended through 2013, and then
made permanent
in July 2010. It was made permanent.
Yeah. I didn't think they'd gone up to 500,000 at this point. But regardless, very interesting information. Of course, you're welcome to join us here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. I know we got some show prep here tonight. Darryl, you had a story about Chelsea Manning.
Yes.
Maybe we'll get into that coming up here.
Yeah, she's getting out of jail in about a week.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that the plans haven't changed, that Trump hasn't somehow revoked the plans for Chelsea Manning to be released after several years behind bars for being a hero and releasing the truth about the U.S. military and some of what they did over in the Middle East. More coming up. Free Talk Live. Do you need a website for your blog or new business? It can be pretty intimidating on your own, and that's why Free Talk Live has partnered with HostGator, one of the top hosting companies. HostGator offers a simple one-click, easy installation for WordPress, 24/7 over-the-phone or live chat tech support, and a very intuitive, user-friendly control panel that puts the power of creation back into your hands. Go to HostGator.com/FTL, and you'll get 50% off of their regular hosting prices. 50% off. HostGator.com/FTL. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
This This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nesquik. Try Nesquik 4-packs, perfect for lunches and great for kids on the go. Look for it in the juice aisle. Snack time is a great chance to sneak extra calcium into your child's diet without making him feel like he's eating something he doesn't want. Serve up dairy-rich foods like smoothies, flavored milk, frozen yogurt, and string cheese. He'll love the treat, and you'll love knowing how good it is for him. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, May 10th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.29 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,224 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.1 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $1,749. Antiwar.com reports Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan was already making much of his plans to lambast President Trump during his D.C. visit last month, complaining about the U.S. provision of arms and military support to Kurdish factions that Turkey considers terrorist. That issue is going to be even bigger now, as President Trump has signed off on a plan to directly arm the Syrian Kurds with even heavier weapons than ever provided before, a move which the Pentagon was pushing as part of the Kurdish YPG's invasion of the Islamic State capital of Raqqa. The Kurds had already received a lot of weaponry and some limited armored vehicles from the U.S. before, and this move eliminates restrictions on what more will be sent, though so far it's not entirely clear what's going to end up going to the Kurds. Anything the Kurds get is likely to be used against NATO member Turkey, however, as Turkey has been attacking the YPG off and on over the past year, and the YPG has been firing back intermittently when the opportunity presents itself. The decision to arm them further amid this tension is likely to be chief among Turkey's objections. That may be the reason for the timing, as President Trump clearly does not like being publicly contradicted, and Erdogan has been very public in objecting to the U.S. support for the Kurds. But it also runs contrary to the U.S. stated policy of keeping Syria united under a strong central government, and the political wing of the YPG, the PYD, has set up a large autonomous region in northeastern Syria, and the U.S. is now giving them so many arms they'll clearly be able to keep that area autonomous beyond the current war, even though the U.S. officially doesn't want that. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports in a surprise move Tuesday, President Donald Trump fired FBI Director James Comey, an abrupt move that has many congressional Democrats wondering if the move could be a move to undercut the DOJ's ongoing investigation into potential Russia ties with the president's campaign. The White House confirmed Comey's firing Tuesday afternoon, and Trump informed the FBI chief in a letter. Trump said in a letter to Comey, "While I greatly appreciate you informing me on 3 separate occasions that I am not under investigation, I nevertheless concur with the judgment of the Department of Justice that you were not able to effectively lead the Bureau." The president said he acted on the clear advice of U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. Trump's letter stated, "I have accepted their recommendation and you are hereby terminated and removed from office effective immediately." Sessions and Rosenstein each sent letters to Trump on Tuesday recommending that he relieve Comey of his duties. Sessions said he felt a fresh start was needed at the Bureau. Sessions wrote, "The director of the FBI must be someone who follows faithfully the rules and principles of the Department of Justice and who sets the right example for our law enforcement officials and others." In his memorandum, Rosenstein said the FBI had taken damage to its reputation and credibility over the last year. Comey's dismissal followed the revelation Tuesday that the FBI director made a mistake when testifying in Congress last week when he falsely testified that former Hillary Clinton aide Huma Abedin had forwarded hundreds of thousands of emails relevant to the Bureau's investigation to the laptop of her estranged husband, former Representative Anthony Weiner. The FBI clarified the erroneous testimony in a letter to Congress earlier Tuesday, addressed to the Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Charles Grassley of Iowa. The FBI noted the clear distinction between manually forwarding emails and having them uploaded via standard backup processes. The Bureau said of nearly 50,000 emails on Weiner's computer that were pertinent to the Clinton investigation, it found that only 2 with classified information were forwarded manually by Abedin and 10 were sent via the backup process, a substantial difference from Comey's claim of hundreds of thousands. The president's move Tuesday sent shockwaves through the Democratic Party, where many met news of Comey's firing with questions about its unusual timing and whether it might be aimed at the DOJ's Russia investigation. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
The American robin heralds the beginning of spring in temperate climates across North America. Its red breast makes it easily identifiable as the most disturbingly efficient murderer in the animal kingdom. Robins inculcate their young with these twisted maws. We see an adult robin feeding its young with the ripped-apart viscerae of an innocent worm. Like the Greek hero Atreus eating the flesh of his children at his own table, this black deed must surely curse the entire species. Even the most depraved acts of humanity pale in comparison to the robin's wickedness. Like idiot rapists, they commit their foul deeds with neither foresight nor hindsight. They live entirely in the present. Living beyond space and time, their god is the awful seething maelstrom of chaos at the center of the unfeeling universe.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of the program. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Kallen,
and Darryl.
We've got Skype. Skype on in here. Username is lrn.fm. You can bring up anything that you want. That is the point here of Free Talk Live. We're planning out our day for tomorrow, today being a huge day for those of you just tuning in. In the first segment or so, we talked about the major news for the libertarian movement, certainly the political side of it as a whole, that here in New Hampshire, which was before today the only state in the entire country with a sitting state representative who is a libertarian. Now we're the only state with 2 sitting state representatives who are libertarians. And one was a former Republican. The other, the one who just flipped today, Joseph Stalkop from Keene, New Hampshire, was a Democrat.
Yes.
So the perfect kind of symbolic thing to show that libertarians are pulling people from both political parties. We're pulling people from outside of the political system, non-party affiliations. Libertarianism has always attracted a wide swath of people.
Right.
It's
and
not just Republicans.
If you look at exit polling of voters going in to vote, the voters that said that they voted for a libertarian candidate, when asked if that person were not on the ballot, would you have voted for the Republican, the Democrat, or would you not have voted? It's actually about 27% say that they would have voted Democrat. Mm-hmm. About 22% say they would have voted Republican.
Really?
The rest would not have voted.
Yeah, I believe that. And so today, big deal. The video is going to be coming up later. The fancy video, as you said, there's a live stream video available somewhere on the internet. I don't know if you've posted it somewhere, Darryl, but
yeah, I shared the link on the Facebook and the Twitter for Free Talk Live.
For Free Talk Live, okay, very good. So we'll get that up there for you to take a look at. But for those of you out there who are libertarians, who are liberty-minded, you really ought to be doing what Kallen just did, which is making a move to New Hampshire. Start planning now so you can move sooner rather than later. Because really, come on, how many more Libertarian state reps do we have to get to show you that something's very special about New Hampshire? It should already be immediately obvious. But in case you need more convincing, then please go watch the 101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire. It's a great hour-long documentary film. I had the pleasure of being the co-producer, one of the co-producers of it. And it really goes through 101 really killer reasons why New Hampshire is the best place to start this freedom movement, to really make a difference. And you can see that we already are by virtue of the fact that there are not only 2 sitting state representatives who are Libertarian Party members, but also there are still several other state representatives who are Libertarians, but they're just not out, if you will.
Correct.
Probably everybody knows that they're Libertarians within the state house, but their party affiliation is Republican or Democrat. So we have way more pro-liberty people in the state representative seats here than anywhere else in the entire world. And it's really awesome to be a part of this. It's great to see the Libertarian Party finally taking off and gearing up for what's going to be, I think, a very interesting 2018 election.
Yes.
With you guys are obviously trying to recruit as many candidates as possible to run under the Libertarian banner, because this is the first year in like 20 years that the Libertarians, or 2018 is going to be the first official year where the Libertarians will be able to achieve ballot status across the board without having to jump through insane hoops, which is what they've had to do for 2 decades.
Just pay filing fees, same as the Republicans and Democrats.
Right, whereas it used to be the Republicans could pay $2, the Democrats could pay $2 to run for state rep, and the Libertarian would have to go out and collect signature after signature after signature to try to get qualified. Now we just pay $2. Now the level playing field is there. It's very exciting. And Kallen, you've just been here for not quite a week. You showed up last Thursday.
Yeah. Actually, just for the people who may not know me, I was actually here before. I was in Nashua.
Right. Bigger city, like 3 times the population.
For sure. And, the great thing about New Hampshire is that there's several cities where people can get involved. Obviously Keene is the biggest when it comes to activism and like-minded, liberty lovers. But you also have Manchester. They have their own scene. You have Nashua. Nashua is actually smaller than Manchester, but is very compact with a lot of the stores that you probably have in your own city or town. And then if a person desires to more of a beach, seacoast, they got
that.
You have Portsmouth.
Yep. You'll pay more to live there, but
for sure,
it is the seacoast.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different options. And then, of course, you're just talking about the cities. You can also live out in the middle of nowhere, where rent's a lot cheaper, and
that's where I started. I was in Wolfboro, New Hampshire.
And how far were you from a grocery store?
About 25 miles.
Okay, that's a bit of a hike.
Yeah, for sure. You can't walk that.
No doubt. But it's a special place full of liberty-friendly people, and the natives here are also pretty liberty-friendly. That's why they call it the Live Free or Die state. There really is something to that, and that's why Caleb Dyer, who's the Republican who flipped to Libertarian, he's a native. Joseph Stalkop is from Connecticut originally. But there are a lot of people who were born here who really care about freedom. And that's one of the reasons why this is the best place to concentrate the activism, to bring libertarians here and have success. Why continue the same old failed tactics where you are? If you're not having any success after a decade of trying, you're obviously doing something wrong, or you're in the wrong place. Maybe you're doing the right thing, but you're in the wrong place.
Right.
Maybe you need to do the same thing around a bunch of other people who are doing the same thing and combine your efforts into one geographic area, which is why we're having success.
Captain Planet, but without the underlying socialist overtones.
I never really watched that show.
Okay, so there were these kids that our powers combined, something, Captain Planet.
And that's what brought him out.
And that's what brought Captain Planet, is when the people combined their powers.
All right. Yeah, I can see what you're saying there. Because, like, you came from Alabama originally. I came from Florida. Roger Paxton, who's the vice chair of the Libertarian Party, you're the chairman.
Yes.
He came from Arkansas.
Yep.
And, Kallen, you came up from the Philadelphia area. So, bringing all these talented libertarians together is absolutely having an effect. So, do you want to be ineffective or do you want to make a difference? If so, then start planning a move here and go to 101reasonsfilm.com to check out the 101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire. It's free to watch online. Patrick in Bullhead City, listening to K-Talks in Arizona. Go ahead. Patrick in Bullhead City. Going once. Do we have Patrick in Bullhead City? Going twice. Tell you what, we'll put Patrick back on hold. Maybe he's in a bad cell. Meanwhile, let's try out Ricky. He's in Pennsylvania. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Ricky.
Brother Ian, that would be the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Whatever, dude. Go ahead with your call.
That's very important.
Is it important? We've got Kallen sitting in here. He's from Pennsylvania. Was that important to you, Kallen, to call it the Commonwealth?
No, it's not really that important.
Massachusetts.
Let me ask you, why is it important? Tell us why it's important.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
I certainly will. Check out Section 25 and 26 of Article I. The independent sovereign Commonwealth.
He's talking to Kallen.
Here's the problem with all you guys. I love what's going on in New Hampshire. New Hampshire, incredibly important. And when it came to my plans for the State House, which still exists, just not at this time, New Hampshire, namely Representative LaChance, if he gets re-election, would be incredibly important. You can't reinvent the wheel. Here's the problem.
Representative LaChance is a former cop who turned good on the war on drugs. He actually ended up being a state representative for 1 or 2 terms, I think. Didn't win re-election last year, unfortunately, but he then flipped to Libertarian. He was a Republican. He is now a member of the Libertarian Party. And another former state representative just informed us today at the gathering for
at
Joseph
the press
Stalka.
conference, yes.
He informed us that he has also flipped to Libertarian. Was it Eastman?
Yes.
Yeah, Eric Eastman, who's like this badass biker-looking dude with long hair. He totally looks like he should be a libertarian. So now he's on board. So I know both of them are going to run, I think, for trying to get elected again in 2018. So we've definitely got something happening here. Patrick or Ricky, I don't know what the hell your point was. So hang on, we'll give you a chance to make it. I'm sure you do. But whether or not you'll meander too much before you actually make it is another question. We'll at least give him a chance to get it out.
Take notes, Ricky.
Yeah, notes are always good because that way you don't lose your place. All right, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. You can join us here. This is Free Talk Live.
Have you ever thought you'd like to flip houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? Are you ready to be your own boss so you can start living the good life? Hi, I'm Preston Ely. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity turned off 9 times, but I figured out a way to quit my job and find financial freedom in real estate. For a limited time, I want to send you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It shows you how to copy exactly what I did so you can make money from the comfort of your own home without even doing any manual labor. I've already given away 5,000 books and they're going fast. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-958-9256. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. It's short, fun to read, easy to understand, and awesome. To find out how to get your free book while supplies last, call 1-800-958-9256. Call 1-800-958-9256. 1-800-958-9256.
Are you happy washing your hands with harsh chemicals? Are you happy doing laundry with detergents? Are you happy paying high prices? Find your happiness with Pure Soap. These all-natural, earth-friendly Pure Soaps are the very best you've ever used. Buy in bulk. Get a 12, 36, or 48-month supply. Or get items individually and still save big. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now. Earth-friendly and natural soaps. Your family deserves the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com. Why not put your money up the drain for a change? See them at 5starsoap.com or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog. Cal Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils. See their full selection of soaps at 5starsoap.com. That's F-I-V-E starsoap.com. Or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin, but imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and our Skype username is LRN.FM. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Kallen,
and Darryl.
And I want to let you know about Bitcoin.com. Recently, they've reported, and I'm glad they have, that Bitcoin transaction fees have increased by more than 1,200% since 2015. That's not good news. Bitcoin's very exciting. In fact, today it hit new record highs, including shortly after the announcement that we talked about earlier, the epic, historic announcement that now New Hampshire is the only state to have not one but two sitting state representatives who are members of the Libertarian Party. Moments after that announcement, that press conference was made, Bitcoin struck a new record high, at least on the ItBit exchange, of $1,776 per Bitcoin.
A better way to say it is New Hampshire has the only Libertarian House Caucus.
Yes. That's true. But nobody else has any Libertarian state reps either. So not only is it true that we have a House Caucus because we have more than one, but no other state even has one. There's the one lady who's a state senator in Nebraska.
Correct.
But that's the only other one.
Right. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the high today was $1,809.27.
Really? Wow. I didn't even know it went over with 1,800. That's incredible.
Yes.
So, yeah, the price is doing great. But behind the scenes, it's a time of strife. It's a time of trouble for the Bitcoin
I paid
community.
my bar tab with Bitcoin earlier today.
So did I.
It cost me 80 cents.
Insane.
To
for a
send
fee. Just to send, what, $10 worth of Bitcoin? 20 bucks.
Wow.
It would have been the same.
My bill was 15,
right?
And I left a decent tip.
You tipped with Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Okay. I always tip with cash because I always worry that, like, if you tip with Bitcoin, that the person's not going to get the tip. You know what I mean?
I was told that at that establishment they do.
They do? Okay. That's good to know. So anyway, if you want to learn more about some of the difficulty behind the scenes of Bitcoin, they're reporting on it over at the news section of Bitcoin.com. And you can learn about the fee market and the slow confirmation times. You know, there's some real problems behind the scenes of Bitcoin. It's got growing pains. Is basically what's happening. It's become so successful internationally that well, it's basically maxed out. The system is at its maximum, and something is either going to break or it's got to change for the better. And so far, it's breaking. Even though the price is going up, Bitcoin itself, in my opinion, is kind of broken right now, and it's getting harder and harder for me as a Bitcoin fanatic and evangelist for Bitcoin to want to recommend Bitcoin, because I just if you're paying $1,000 car repair bill and the fee's $1, that's no big deal,
right?
But if you're paying for a $2 pack of rolling papers at Corner News and the fee is 75 cents, then that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
That's a 40% tax just to pay Bitcoin.
And then eventually Bitcoin starts to lose their status as a go-to currency. It becomes, in a sense, kind of limited, and then where people will be like, well, I'm only going to use Bitcoin for big
stuff.
Purchase.
Right.
Exactly.
And then there's no real infrastructure in place for any of the other currencies that are competing with Bitcoin, at least not yet, to allow them to be used at these points of sale. Well, anyway, if you want to learn more about it, go to bitcoin.com. They got a lot of good information over there. And if you're brand new to Bitcoin, bitcoin.com is a great place to start learning. Let's go to the phones, to your calls and thoughts. We've got Ricky still here with us in Pennsylvania. Ricky, go ahead with your thoughts tonight. Why were you calling?
Well, I mean, what it comes down to here, and I know Calvin's saying it don't matter, but the problem here is
You mean Kallen?
Look, Kallen, yeah.
Thank you.
Kallen. Is that with a C or with a K?
With a K.
Sweet. Now, what it comes down to is Federalists. You see, Kallen, I'm a Democratic Republican. You were born and raised in Pennsylvania?
Yes, I was.
You were then just like me, young man, I'm sure.
I'm sure he's just like you.
No, I
Well,
wasn't at
I
all.
know
Actually, I was born and raised as a Democrat. I despise Republicans at a very young age.
Well,
Me
Ricky's
too. I
also a
despise
Democrat.
myself.
Yeah, but he said he's
I'm
a Democrat Republican.
Right. That's what Thomas Jefferson and Andrew Jackson and a couple of them. Actually, Thomas Jefferson was a anti-federalist.
Yeah. I think it's hard. Yeah, I really think it's hard to call oneself a Democratic Republican. I mean, I think there's definitely other labels.
Because you were taught as a statist, brother, just like I was.
Well,
but they turned out an anti-federalist in my case.
Definitely. When I was younger, I was a statist. I absolutely agree with that. But
My parents
Ricky
were
still
taught
is.
as Pennsylvanians.
No, he's a Commonwealthist.
He voted for Hillary Clinton.
Hey, now let me point something out to you. This is what I really called in tonight.
Yeah, what was it? Let's get to it.
Okay, so all what's going on in this whole Trump business, the jackass, what it comes down to, and that's when I came back out for a while on April 6th, I summed it all up. What this guy's doing is Hamiltonian federalism. Let me point this
April
out
6th.
to you.
Are you also keeping track of your calls to this show?
No, I just remember that one because that was my comeback after a long time.
Okay.
Now, right, what it came down to is, see, through unification of the states under strict federalist control.
Pay attention, Kallen. You got
right,
There's
you
going to be a
can't win
test
with
on
that.
this. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you can't win with that. You can't win with that. That's slavery. That's what brought out the anti-federalists. As long as you embrace the Constitution, you're damned to fail. Plain and simple. This is federalism to the hilt. That's what this guy is doing. And
All right,
there's a
let's
lot
stop
of
you
stuff-
right there. Has he lost you yet? Because he's lost me a long time ago.
If I embrace the Constitution, I'm failed. What did you say?
Yeah. Listen.
So hold on. So
Don't be
the Constitution
young
is bad.
man.
Are you saying that the Constitution is bad?
You talking about the U.S. Constitution or the Pennsylvania Constitution?
U.S.
Okay,
Constitution.
just to clarify.
I don't have a problem with state
Okay.
Constitution.
So is it bad?
Now-
Go ahead, Kallen.
Yeah. So freedom of speech is bad.
No,
that
the
bad?
problem is the way it's written in its legalese of evil. You got to look into why Jefferson had a problem. Take a look at the Fifth Amendment. Take a look at a lot of things.
So maybe you mean there are parts of the U.S. Constitution that are bad. But when you say the
don't
U.S.
get it.
Constitution,
Son, let me explain something to you. Here's the part you got to remember. This is Hamilton's writing. It all hinges on this. It's called the unification of the states. Through unification of the states under strict federalist control, then you can enjoy and experience freedom, independence with democracy. Now, how can you win
Those
with that, son?
words
That's
are
what the state
all
is.
contradictory to one another. You,
Yeah,
can't, have freedom,
and
independence,
democracy.
and democracy. You can have one of those things.
The Constitution of the United States of America. There ain't no unification. You can't reinvent the wheel. It needs to be thrown in the garbage. Jefferson threw
What
it
do
in
you
the
want
garbage.
to see happen? Instead of let's throw the Constitution in the garbage, then what? What do you want to see happen then?
State constitutions.
So
now I had a plan.
You want to eliminate the federal government? You want to eliminate the federal government entirely and have 50 states?
Independent sovereign territories based on their state constitutions.
All right, I'm with you there.
Wow, something we agree with
I'm
Ricky
completely
on,
with you on
and
this. Thank you for the call.
You could have just said that at
Yeah.
the beginning instead of like
I agree
jumping
with
all
that.
through these hoops and hurdles.
Yeah, I'm glad we got it out of him. I mean, it's nice to agree on something with Ricky, because a lot of times we don't. A lot of times we can't understand really what he's trying to say, but we managed to extract it from him this time.
Right,
Maybe
and
thanks to you,
also
Kallen. Thanks for that.
the Anti-Federalist existed before the Bill of Rights. That's kind of the reason the Bill of Rights was added to the Constitution.
We're going to continue. We got time for you. If you want to join us here, our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can join us here. This is Free Talk Live.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Teens radio show. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgoristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agorist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any tomfoolery. So go with AgoristHosting.com. And if you want to get your foot in the door with decentralized marketplaces, Agorist Hosting is now offering Open Bazaar hosting. Go to agoristhosting.com, click on the button that says Get Hosted. Agorist Hosting, that's AGORIST, hosting.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Foodforliberty.com sells high-quality, storable foods from Numana. And right now, take advantage of our summer special. Purchase 2 family packs and we'll send you a Pro Pure Water Pitcher, a $70 value, free. This premium pitcher is ideal for use with just about any water source and removes more contaminants than other brands. And it comes with a filter that lasts up to 2 full years. Whether you need to be prepared in the event of an emergency, you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, enthusiasts, New Manna is known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, super nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. And with a 25-year shelf life, you can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. Go to foodforliberty.com right now for great-tasting, high-quality, storable foods from New Manna. Buy 2 family packs and get the Pro Pure Water Pitcher free. It makes good sense to be prepared. Get it at foodforliberty.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free. Join us on the radio here. Take control of the airwaves. And bring up anything you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype, so you may Skype in to join us here at Skype username LRN.FM. Tonight in studio, it's Ian,
Kallen,
and Darryl.
Also, want to let you know about My Pillow. It's a great pillow. In fact, I use mine every single night because I can. I've got other options. I could use other pillows, but My Pillow is the best one I've ever used. And they're not paying me to say that. We do get paid every time you buy one, though. And they are great. We wouldn't recommend them if we weren't using them ourselves. So you go to mypillow.com, use code FTL, and you get yours at half price. They're designed to fit to the shape of your body and hold your neck in the proper position. They're also washable. You can put it in the washer and the dryer. The MyPillow is designed for that. Plus, 60 days. You get 60 days to decide whether you like it or not. And if you don't, that's okay. You can send it back to them. They'll send you your money back. Because, again, they're washable. So it doesn't matter if you've used it for, 30 out of the 60 days. I'm sure they probably can't sell it as brand new, but, they're that much behind their product that they're willing to back it up with a money-back guarantee. And further, if you keep it, then you can feel good because the product itself is guaranteed to last for 10 years. So go to mypillow.com and use code FTL like Free Talk Live to get 50% off or 2 for the price of 1 over at mypillow.com. Well, let's go back to your calls and thoughts. We got Sarah in New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hi, Sarah.
Yes, I just want to mention that, the trolley line that they're building in El Paso. Well, it turns out like they had the trolley line 50 years ago. Except that they tore it down for whatever reason, and now they're
probably
spending
because trolley is old technology and people weren't using it.
Now they want to spend $20 million per mile to rebuild it again. So what's the change?
That sounds like something stupid that you would expect from government to do. I mean, spend money to destroy something, then spend more money to rebuild the thing they already destroyed.
Is it throughout El Paso, or is it connecting into the nearby town or city Las Cruces?
No, it's downtown El Paso.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just rebuilding what was torn down. And also interesting is that central here in Albuquerque, there was a trolley line like in 1900, and then they tore that down and put a car lane, 4 car lanes. So, like 100 years ago, we had trolley lines here also.
Yeah, and 120 years ago, people used horse and buggies to get around. Technology changes.
Well, yeah, but, they should have left the trolley, like you said, instead of putting in car lanes. But it's all to help out, for the petroleum industry to benefit and to make profit, the tire companies. So that's what forced
you think
out
that's
all
hold on, just to
Should we also add horse and buggy lanes because, that way the equine industrial complex winds up getting support?
Well, the horse and buggy thing is outdated, but the trolley they should
So are trolleys, Sarah.
Yeah.
So are trolleys.
There's very few cities that still have trolley systems.
But everyone loves trolleys.
Ding, ding, ding. Yep. That's how you get to the land of make-believe.
Yeah. Right. That's why everyone loves them, right? Because they were on Mr. Rogers. They were on Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Sarah, did you ever watch Mr. Rogers?
And they're also on the Rice-A-Roni commercials.
Sarah, did you ever watch Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, I think I did.
I think so. How could you just think you watched Mr. Rogers? You don't just think you watched Mr. Rogers.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
But I don't understand what was going on except the singing and then the taking the sweaters off, but I didn't really follow much of his.
Okay, well, you kind of got part of it there. The sweaters, yeah, that happened.
And the shoes, he always changed his shoes.
Yeah, inside the house, right?
Yes.
Put on an inside pair of shoes.
Yep.
And he asks you, won't you be my neighbor?
What's the point? After that, I don't remember anything, and then get
What's
to know
the
your
point?
neighbor.
Let me explain. Look, now I'm not intimately familiar with the Mr. Rogers Neighborhood. You know, I did watch it as a kid, and there's some stuff I remember from being a kid. But I have actually had the occasion to see some of it as an adult, and the point is to impart really important, like, deep life lessons to children. Like, there's some really good information in that show. So that's the point of that program. Thank you for the call tonight, Sarah. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. There's people alive today as adults who could really use a refresher course on what Mr. Rogers was trying to teach them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's a series of photos that I've seen float around the Facebooks recently where it's, you know, one of these things to where it's several screenshots of an episode, and I'm actually pulling it up so that I can quote it, where he's got, you know, like a sheet of paper and crayons, and he says, "Do you like to draw with crayons? I'm not very good at it, but it doesn't matter. It's the fun of doing it that's important. No matter how anyone says it is, it feels good to have made something."
Yeah. What a guy.
You know, so
he earned all of the reputation he had. I mean, really.
Just do something. You know, you don't have to be the best at it.
Just
but if
do
you
it.
like doing it, then do it.
Like Nike. Just do it.
No, not like Nike, like Mr. Rogers.
That's probably where they got it from, though.
Probably.
So you can bring up whatever you want. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Chelsea Manning, do we have time for Chelsea Manning?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, there's always time for Chelsea Manning.
Good.
Chelsea Manning and legal team issued a release yesterday on Chelsea's upcoming release from prison. And I will post the link on the Facebook and the Twitter. Headline is Chelsea Manning, legal team on Manning's upcoming release from military prison. Next week, Chelsea Manning will be released from U.S. military prison after serving a 7-year sentence for disclosing classified information that raised public awareness regarding the impact of war on innocent civilians.
She served 7 years out of what was a 35-year sentence, was it not?
Correct.
Yeah.
35-year sentence,
and it was
which
commuted.
was by all indicators the longest sentence ever given to a whistleblower.
Right.
And Manning also, of all of the people that were targeted under the Espionage Act for whistleblowing under the Obama administration, had by far the longest sentence of all of those. And
under the supposedly, crystal clear Obama administration where they're going to protect whistleblowers or whatever.
And I believe the 7 years served was actually longer than the combined time served by all of the other people convicted under Obama's presidency as whistleblowers for espionage or other related crimes.
And it wasn't just your average...
John Kiriakou is the only person to go to prison for anything related to the CIA's use of torture, and John Kiriakou's crime was revealing the fact that the CIA was torturing people.
And speaking of torture, that was one of the things I wanted to add. This isn't your typical prison sentence. Chelsea was subjected to torture conditions, including solitary confinement, lights on 24/7, loud noises, so just trying to deprive her of sleep, basically.
And the judge very graciously subtracted 120 days off of the sentence for the pretrial torture that Manning suffered. And again, Manning was given that unprecedented 35-year sentence.
Commuted in January
by outgoing President Barack Obama. The commutation followed a November 2016 request from Chelsea Manning's appellate legal team of Nancy Hollander and Vincent Ward of Friedman, Boyd, Hollander, Goldberg, Urias, and Ward, PA. The Office of the Pardon Attorney and the President's Counsel requested the commutation of Manning's 35-year court-martial sentence.
Now, is this whole thing
to
a press
time
release?
served and a first chance to live a real, meaningful life.
Is Manning going to comment, or is this just all the attorneys?
There's a comment from Manning.
Okay, we're going to get to that coming up
Yes.
here. 855, 450 free. Moments remain as well, so if you want to sneak your call in, get on the radio with us, you can. You can join us here also on Skype. We're Skype username LRN.FM, and this is Free Talk Live.
DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell phone, office products, home and garden, bed and bath, furniture, kitchen, pet supplies, automotive, hardware, apparel, shoes, jewelry, grocery, healthcare, sports and outdoors, toys, games, used, and more. It's a department store at your fingertips. Shop.freetalklive.com. Get all your shopping done, get a great deal, and a portion of your purchase goes to benefit Free Talk Live when you enter Amazon via shop.freetalklive.com. You've said it yourself. We need a healthcare system that focuses on health, not sickness. Health insurance pays for treating sickness but gives you nothing for being healthy. There's a free market healthcare company that gives you freedom from health insurance. They give you a proactive health assessment daily, no charge 24-hour access to doctors. Check them out right now at healthexcellenceselect.com. Any kind of doctor, traditional, integrative, chiropractic, acupuncture, and massage. You'll love the service and price. healthexcellenceselect.com. healthexcellenceselect.com.
Are you happy washing your hands with harsh chemicals? Are you happy doing laundry with detergents? Are you happy paying high prices? Find your happiness with Pure Soap. These all-natural, earth-friendly Pure Soaps are the very best you've ever used. Buy in bulk. Get a 12, 36, or 48-month supply, or get items individually and still save big. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now, earth-friendly and natural soaps. Your family deserves the best. Happiness is 5starsoap.com. Why not put your money up the drain for a change? See them at 5starsoap.com or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog. Cal Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils. See their full selection of soaps at 5starsoap.com. That's F-I-V-E starsoap.com. Or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
Tomorrow's my big day. I'm going to go in for surgery, and hopefully you'll come along. Now, I do have to admit that I am in a bit of pain, so I'm really looking forward to this procedure. I think we're both going to find out that having surgery just isn't as scary as it sounds.
We're covering our own Jim Haggerty's kidney stone removal surgery, and his surgery is now just minutes away. So, Dr. Atka, tell us what precautions we would take to prevent us from getting kidney stones.
Always stay hydrated. Water helps the kidneys break the stuff down.
Ah, hear that, Jim? More water.
What?
More water. Maybe we should replace your coffee.
Please go away. Please. Ow, no.
That's a camera they're going to use to film the whole surgery from inside Jim's
Yes,
body,
that's going to
right?
be pushed into Jim's urethra as well. Now, normally they wouldn't do this. This is purely for the benefit of us watching it on TV.
All right, stick with us because first he's going to pop into the children's ward to cheer up some youngsters suffering from terminal illnesses.
This is the Onion News Network.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
Free
Talk Live, dial in toll-free and bring up anything you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. If you want to support Free Talk Live, then please, you can do that by joining the AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote, and it's $5 a month. That is one of the best ways for you to get behind the show, because it's money that we invest into Free Talk Live so we can get on more radio stations around the country, bring new internet listeners on board, and it takes money to market the show. So some of the things we do with that money is we'll go to Mark and I in like 3 weeks. We're going to be up in New York City.
New York City.
We're going to be there for the Talkers Magazine convention, where we'll schmooze it up with industry bigwigs. And we've been attending these things now for like 12 years. It's, I think, going to be our 12th year doing the Talkers convention. So like we're kind of old school now. Like, we've been around. People see us. They recognize us. We're not the new kids on the block anymore, and that helps us. It actually makes it more effective. You know, when you donate $5 today, your $5 is actually probably more effective at marketing Free Talk Live than $5 was 10 years ago, because nobody knew who we were at that time. So it's easier to market a show that's been around for a decade. And so you can help us with that. And we can take it in PayPal or any major credit card through PayPal or Visa, MasterCard right there on the site. Supposedly American Express, but I don't think anybody has that. So I don't know if anyone's ever tried it. If you've tried American Express and it hasn't worked, please shoot me an email at ian@freetalklive.com. But also Bitcoin. So if you want to amp with Bitcoin, you can do that too. Please go to amp.freetalklive.com. You'll learn about the perks you'll receive, like access to the AMP-only Facebook group, where you can interact with other Free Talk Live listeners, as well as some of the hosts, and also the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only the AMP-only call-in lines, the Facebook group, and what else am I missing?
Forums?
There used to be a forum. There used to be an AMP
Aren't
forum.
you thinking of bringing back the forum on the Shire forums?
Yeah, but it's not AMP-only, so that's for anybody that wants to go and check that out. The AMP-only podcast, right. So we get the AMP-only podcast.
Yes, the ad-free version.
You can listen to, well, mostly ad-free. You still have to listen to us talk.
Right, but you know, between segments, there's no ads.
Right, there's no pre-recorded ads in the AMP-only podcast. But, yeah, if you want to try out the forum, you can do that at forum.freetalklive.com. That's for anybody. But if you want to amp the show, please take a moment, go check it out, and we really appreciate it when you do it, because it really helps us out. Helps us spread the ideas of liberty and peace as far as wide and as wide as possible. ampamp.freetalklive.com. Chelsea Manning, press release from her attorneys in about a week or so. She's going to be released. I thought it was.
Yes.
Was it the 17th or the 21st? What's
17th?
17th. Okay, so exactly 1 week then.
Yes. So one more sentence of the lead up, and then there are quotes from Chelsea Manning, the attorneys, and the ACLU. In December of last year, the ACLU and over a dozen LGBT groups sent a letter to Barack Obama urging commutation of Manning's sentence, and more than 115,000 people signed a petition on the White House's We the People platform asking Obama to commute Manning's sentence to time served.
All right.
Manning's statement pending release, like her statement on her upcoming release.
Yeah.
For the first time, I can see a future for myself as Chelsea. I can imagine surviving and living as the person who I am and can finally be in the outside world. Freedom used to be something that I dreamed of but never allowed myself to fully imagine. Now, freedom is something that I will again experience with friends and loved ones after nearly 7 years of bars and cement, of periods of solitary confinement, and of my health care and autonomy restricted, including through routinely forced haircuts. I am forever grateful to the people who kept me alive, President Obama, my legal team, and countless supporters. I watched the world change from inside prison walls and through the letters that I've received from veterans, trans young people, parents, politicians, and artists. My spirits were lifted in dark times, reading of their support, sharing in their triumphs, and helping them through challenges of their own. I hope to take the lessons I have learned, the love I have been given, and the hope that I have to work toward making life better for others. That's nice. The statement from Chelsea Manning about her upcoming release. Now a joint statement from Nancy Hollander and Vincent Ward, who were Manning's clemency and appellate lawyers. They say Chelsea has already served the longest sentence of any whistleblower in the history of this country. It has been far too long, too severe, too draconian. President Obama's act of commutation was the first time the military took care of this soldier who risked so much to disclose information that served the public interest. We are delighted that Chelsea can finally begin to enjoy the freedom she deserves, and we thank the many, many people and organizations who have supported her and continue to support her as we fight in her appeal to clear her name. And Chase Strangio, who I believe is the lead attorney for the national ACLU, says, like far too many people in prison, particularly transgender women, Chelsea Manning has had to survive unthinkable violence throughout the 7 years of her incarceration. Finally, she will be leaving prison and building a life beyond the physical walls of the many sites of her detention. It's a remarkable gift to the world that Chelsea will be able to grow and fight alongside us for justice. The transition out of these horrific institutions will not be easy, and part of what we hope is that Chelsea will find the space, love, and support to heal and build a life of her choosing. Her fight to be herself, to access the medical care that she needed, and to gain her freedom have transformed law and society for the better. The urgency of those fights for many in our communities will continue, and Chelsea's past and future work will no doubt be a critical force in moving towards a more just society for everyone.
So is her legal team working to help her clear her record? Because typically...
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, you
okay.
mentioned an appeal. Is that still going?
That's what it sounds like. There was the statement from the clemency and appellate lawyers who issued that joint statement, who said that we thank the many, many people and organizations who have supported and continue to support her as we fight in her appeal to clear her name.
Okay. So, yeah, it sounds like the gears are still turning on that situation.
And while Manning is not available for interviews, her legal team will be available for interviews between May 9th and May 15th.
Interesting.
And the legal team will provide updates following her release, but will not be responding to inquiries directly during the week of the 15th. And then they give the Twitter handles where you can follow at Nancy Hollander _, at Chase Strangio, and at ACLU.
It'll be interesting to watch and see, what does Chelsea do?
I do know that there was a GoFundMe to raise some money to help with, getting her on her feet.
Yeah, welcome back. Here you go.
And they surpassed the goal.
Of course they did. Of course. What was the goal? Do you remember? Like $250,000 or something?
It was a sizable amount.
Yeah. What, you were gonna say something?
Yeah. I was. I think a great idea is, with some exception, of course, but when people come out of prison, I feel like most of the people who reenter society, their records should be cleared because typically, or at least, employers should not hold that against them as a factor to hiring them, because it's just unfortunate when they enter society. No one wants to hire them. If they do get hired, the best they may get is a McDonald's or Walmart job. And I feel like, now, there are some exceptions, of course. If a person is a sex offender or if a person has created multiple accounts of the same crime, there are those exceptions, of course. That person should continue to have that record to warn employers.
So what would you say should be wiped away?
So for, obviously... marijuana charges.
Okay,
that should be wiped away.
I
Obviously, like disorderly conduct.
Okay. Victimless crimes.
Activism. People get jailed for you already know that, Ian. People get jailed for activism.
And nobody, when they see that I get an unsworn falsification conviction on my rap sheet, it makes me look like I'm dishonest. But that's definitely not the case, and that's not what was happening. With that conviction. But nobody, is going to take the time to listen.
Yeah, and I think first-time offenders, because I personally believe, and I think y'all both would agree with me. I personally believe that people are worthy of a second chance.
I agree.
I think first-time offenders when they come back into society, they should be cleared. But if a person has committed the act or similar acts multiple times, then that should stay with them. But it's unfortunate because even a first-time offender comes back into society,
they're dinged forever.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you.
The initial goal on the Chelsea Manning Welcome Home Fund was $100,000. That got reached. They've increased it to $150,000. They're at $121,000.
All right. What's the URL? Is it easy to remember?
GoFundMe.com/Welcome Home Chelsea.
There you go. We'll see you tomorrow night online. In the meantime, freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, May 10th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.29 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,224 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.1 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $1,749. Antiwar.com reports Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan was already making much of his plans to lambast President Trump during his D.C. visit last month, complaining about the U.S. provision of arms and military support to Kurdish factions that Turkey considers terrorist. That issue is going to be even bigger now as President Trump has signed off on a plan to directly arm the Syrian Kurds with even heavier weapons than ever provided before, a move which the Pentagon was pushing as part of the Kurdish YPG's invasion of the Islamic State capital of Raqqa. The Kurds had already received a lot of weaponry and some limited armored vehicles from the U.S. before, and this move eliminates restrictions on what more